Welcome to Drinkin Bros, presented by GhostBed.com. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them all. There you had the fact and lies. Dan, if there was a rope nearby, I would fashion it around my neck after the week we had this weekend as far as sports gambling goes on this show, D'Anthony. Look, kids, I am quick to pat myself on the dong when I have a great week. And usually, I have a great week. Occasionally, I miss. And I missed this week. And we'll start with that. We'll start with that, D'Anthony.
I mean, we should also talk about...
clear it. Clear that throat.
We should also talk about Dak Prescott at some point.
We will. We'll start with all the quarterbacks first and foremost. Okay, we'll go with Tom Brady. Tom Brady. Don't really want to talk about Tom Brady, but we have to. That was the first bet of the week. Mm-hmm. That was the Thursday night game. I loved it. I went hard on it. I went aggressive on it. Tom Brady looked like Joe Biden out there. He did not remember which down it was, and he cost his team a victory against a terrible, terrible Bears team.
That was not great.
Any of you Bears fans out there saying the Bears are back and you're going to the Super Bowl and all of that, you were wrong. You were sorely, sorely mistaken in that. You have an awful football team there, and the only reason you won that game is because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers literally handed it to you. They were up 13-0 with about 3 minutes left in the first half, and I was like, easy day. Yeah. Going into halftime, feeling fine about my life, and then all of a sudden, quick touchdown, fine. All right, I'm okay with that. But then Tampa Bay fumbled and gave them the ball back, and they were down by a point, 14-13 at halftime. And then Brady went full Biden in the fourth with the four fingers meme that's going around everywhere.
He pulled a J.R. Smith.
Yep, sure did. Did not know where he was, and there's no crowd noise there, so not really sure what happened to Tom. Tommy, what happened, Tommy? What happened to you mentally, Tommy? You screwed us, Tommy, and that was a bad choice going into the weekend. I am terrible at Thursday night games. I need to start admitting that. I need to sit down with a therapist. Yeah. I need to talk out my problems live to the people and say, Ross, why are you betting the Thursday night games? You're horrific at them. I am 1-3 this year on Thursday night games. There was one that I did not touch, and I think it was like Jets 49ers or something like that.
I don't know if anybody's doing well on those Thursday games, to be honest.
I got to be honest with myself. It's my kryptonite. Great on the weekends. Terrible on the Thursday night games. But that Thursday night game is just sitting there daring you to bet it, saying, hey, man, Ross, hey, psst, it's me, the Thursday night game. Have you had a long week? Come with me, man. I know you're bored right now. The kids are sleeping, right? Yeah, you got 2 young kids. They're sleeping. Just throw 500 on the Thursday night game. I'm there with you, brother. Your wife's tired. You know, you guys are going out Friday night. No big deal. Just stay up with me. Just bet me. It's your little Thursday night friend. Inject me into your veins. And every week I fall for it. And every week I am disappointed, and I might as well have taken money out of my wallet, lit it on fire, and thrown it out the window in the city of Portland. My God, man, I got to stop with the Thursday night games, but I'm not going to. Why? Because it's not enough just to lose the Thursday night games. Now, because of COVID, one game is being postponed per week, and now there's Tuesday night games. So I'm getting back on that horse, baby. Bills against Titans tonight, D'Anthony. Who you got? Is Buffalo minus 3.5.
It's going to be a good game.
I know. I think it's going to be a great game, actually. Both teams play very, very slow. Both teams play great defense. This over is really high.
Wait, the other Bills game, weren't the Bills are supposed to play the Chiefs on Thursday, right? So that game gets pushed now, or what?
There's 8 games total that are now pushed till sometime in the future. We don't know.
This Thursday game, Bills-Chiefs, is pushed, though, right?
I'm not sure.
Because it's not showing up on ESPN now.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I would imagine it would be. But we'll get to that. Who do you like tonight? Bills and Titans at minus 3.5. The junkie and me bought a 0.5 point. And is it 3.5 on my bookie?
I'm looking now. Hang on.
Or
It's 4 now.
It's 4. It's up to 4. Fake Dan says it's up to 4 now, so that means everybody's betting the Bills. I took the Bills. I took the Bills at -3. I love pain, and apparently I have nothing to do on a Tuesday night, so
I just don't know.
I bet on the Bills.
I don't know if I can bet on the Bills in this game.
It's tough. It's a tough game. I'm just doing it because I had a horrible weekend.
The Titans have it's been up and down, as it always is with those guys.
Every single game is awful to watch for the Titans.
And it usually takes a while for Derrick Henry to get going, although
Correct.
he's off to a pretty quick start this year.
Yeah.
He's averaging over 100 yards a game, but the rest of the offense hasn't quite caught up yet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everybody said that the first 3 or 4 games of the year are going to be basically preseason. This is the game where they should start playing football.
Right.
If he's already tuned up, the problem that I see with this game is that the Bills have one of, if not the best pass rush in all of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how much is that offset by the fact that Derrick Henry can fucking carry that team literally on his shoulders, right? I think that's going to, like, when you have a weapon that attacks at the heart of their best feature on defense, that becomes problematic for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, their secondary is okay, it's not the best, but that pass rush is crazy.
Yeah.
So, man, Tannehill is going to – he's very lucky to have Derrick Henry.
Yeah, as
right?
would any team.
Any team, for sure, but especially in this case.
Oh, yeah.
They played the Vikings tough, won that game, maybe shouldn't have. But they let the Jaguars score 30 points on them, right?
Right.
I don't know what the Bills' offensive capabilities truly are right now. I really am. I just don't understand because
They're undefeated.
They are, but they played the Jets and the Dolphins.
Yep.
And looked really good against the Rams and the Raiders. The Raiders, who, by the way, beat the Chiefs.
Chiefs, which we'll get to, because that really fucked the entire parlay for the weekend.
Yeah, I think the Bills are on a nice roll. I think this is the kind of game that can really fuck you up when the matchup is like this, particularly at a short week on a Thursday night. Man, you know what?
Well, this is Tuesday, so
or Tuesday rather. Yeah,
they have longer to look at game tape.
Well, I don't know if that's really going to matter. Anytime, I don't think it's necessarily the short week. I think it's the fact that it interrupts your schedule.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you're used to, and this is at your circadian rhythm, if you're used to working out at a certain time during the day and you work out at a different time, you're not going to feel as good because your body adjusts to it. And it's the same way. It's why NBA players will often sleep until like fucking 11 a.m., wake up, go to the fucking court to start warming up and shit by 2 p.m. because their prime time window is like 7 to 10, depending on what coast they're playing on, all that shit. I think being disrupted like this is going to be a problem for both of these teams. I think the team that relies on the pass more, which is certainly the Bills, at least in this case, not that they are heavily reliant on it, because, look, Allen is a pretty mobile young man.
Yeah, he's great.
I think it probably will affect them more, but you're right. They did have, for two teams that have good defenses, they've had a lot more time to strategize against the offensive setup. I think it's going to be a really low-scoring game. I don't think it's going to be a 35-30 game like we've been seeing. And both of these teams have been having 35-30 games.
What do you think of that over then at 52? So I took the Bills at -3, again, because I hate myself, and we'll get into why I hate myself.
That's a 28-24 game,
I know.
basically.
I know.
27-25.
I don't think they score that many points. Both these defenses are
so
right.
good.
Yeah.
They are so good, but I don't know, man.
I don't bet unders just because I'm not a pussy and I wasn't raised like that.
How do you – let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How do you really deal with Derrick Henry? Like, what's your strategy?
Stack the box and then hope Tannehill beats you. If I'm the Bills on this one, I don't think Tannehill's great. He's a great game manager. Reminds me of an Alex Smith type of dude, right?
Who's back, by the way.
Right.
Sort of.
And which is awesome. And again, we'll get to those games here in a sec. But I need a call on this one. D'Anthony, I'm going Bills -3. Man, I never bet unders, but I might throw a hundo on it. Again, because I hate pain, and I'm sure this Tuesday night game will be just as awful as the Thursday night games. We'll see.
Well, the Bills in the bottom third of the league in passing yards allowed this year, interestingly. But a lot of it is because the other team has been on the field quite a bit because they've been scoring more this year than they have in the past, right? I don't know if that's a function of Allen being better. Now, with regard to the run game, the Bills are in the top 10.
Yeah,
right.
Singletary's back there.
This is a fucking crazy game to call. Since you're going with the Bills, I'm going to go with the Titans.
There it is.
Just to make it a fight
club game of the week already tonight. Oh, I love it. Maybe we'll pop this audio episode out earlier than Giorgio so we can get this out to the people. If you want to bet with us or against us on mybookie.com, promo code Drinkin Bros doubles your deposits. That's where all our bets are going, including this weekend. So everybody's asked me to pick these teasers and parlays this year, which, I always say the same thing. It's like buying a fucking lottery ticket. Junky shit. But the first two weekends, first weekend I picked an 8-game parlay. Second one I picked a 6-game parlay. I missed last weekend, and then this weekend that we just went through, I was 5 out of 6.
Same.
The one loss,
motherfucking Chiefs.
yes, was the Chiefs.
And I almost bet.
And I bet the Chiefs straight up.
I almost bet both the Seahawks and the Saints, and I decided not to bet on either.
Well, with the 6-point teaser, both the Seahawks and the Saints won. So I was
with
fine
the teaser,
on those.
yeah. No, they were in my teaser.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they weren't in. I didn't bet them straight up.
No, I
which
didn't.
I thought was.
I took the Seahawks straight up, and they became the Seahawks.
I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
But
it's a bad loss for me.
I definitely had them in my teasers, but the Chiefs. I mean, look. There's all this talk. I was watching First Take the day after, and Stephen A. Smith is like, "Are they too reliant on?" Or no, I'm sorry. Kellerman was asking, begging the question: "Are they too reliant on Patrick Mahomes there?" I don't know what that means to be too reliant on somebody in that context, but I think one of the points that he made later in the argument was actually pretty correct. And the argument was they're not relying on him to do more, generally speaking, through the game, because they have good running backs, and they've also been, now that they're recognizing this 3-down lineman situation that people are backing up trying to force him to scramble, they're just running fucking end arounds with their two fastest receivers in the entire NFL, and it's working pretty well.
Right.
They had another rushing touchdown by a receiver this week.
Mm-hmm.
But they do rely too much on him, and he said as much, I think yesterday in a press conference. He was like, yeah, we have to start running our offense, reading the defense better, and stop just relying on me to scramble and make a great play. Because you ultimately, you don't want to rely on a great play. You know what I mean? You'll expect it. You'll come to expect it over time. But relying on the great play is what I've been talking about with Brett Favre the last couple of months when we're talking about Mahomes. Mahomes is supposed to be Favre without the mistakes.
Right.
And he's making the mistakes now.
Well,
so maybe they have a point. Maybe they are not relying on Mahomes too much, but they're relying on him to dig them out of holes too much. And I think that's a fair point.
Maybe. I wasn't a fan of the play calling, to be honest with you. I watched that game, obviously, because I couldn't believe that the entire 6-team teaser was coming down to the Chiefs of all teams. I thought that was the easiest one to pick, to be honest with you. And it wasn't. It's the same mentality, man, that we've been talking about for the last 2 years with the Chiefs. They're the Warriors. They don't play unless they have to. They play down to their competition. And I don't think they give a shit if they lose 3 or 4 games. I really don't. They're going to be number one in their division and all that other stuff. There is no home field this year advantage, who cares?
They probably had a bit of a hangover after no matter
destroying the Ravens.
Yeah, and like no matter what anybody says, a young player like Lamar Jackson and the fact that they have 2 amazing running backs and they have one of the best tight ends in the league and they have one of the better defenses in the league, I don't give a shit what your record is against them. They're still going to be in your head.
Right.
And then winning against them, there's going to be a lot of adrenaline. I could tell you from being in gunfights, I don't know how long it lasts for professional athletes like that, at least how long they're in their own head. But a lull in combat, you get what's called an adrenaline hangover, right? You feel like you just took melatonin or something, like your body's like, oh, all my adrenaline's gone. Then shooting starts again and pops back up. But it's like a wave of depression that washes over you almost, where your body stops producing serotonin because it's spiked so hard for a little bit. And I think we've seen it before in professional sports when the team comes off a big win, then they play some shitty team next and get their fucking ass kicked.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders fans are a little too excited about this.
Boy.
But I mean, I would be too. It's a big win for them.
It is.
And they're like, to see David Carr come back and operate like that again is exciting for them, regardless of who it's against, because he's the fucking cornerstone of that team, regardless of what else is going on there.
Right.
So to see him doing well, that's great. Big fan of him. I'm a big fan of John Gruden as well. Josh Jacobs is awesome. I like that whole team. Ruggs,
Darren Waller's great. Ruggs is great. Ruggs finally had a big boy game, 118 yards and a touchdown.
Big fan of that team. But again, with you, particularly with the offensive play calling, Bieniemy, I don't know what the fuck he's doing over there.
I don't either. And it looks
maybe
they're using Hilaire a lot.
Maybe it's a Belichick thing. Maybe they're trying to like toy around during the season and not give a fuck if they lose against the Dolphins, for example, because everybody always made a big deal. Like, oh, every other year the Patriots go down there and lose to the Dolphins. Like,
Right.
yeah, but did you ever look to see what kind of offensive plays they're running there? Are they trying new shit? Are they like taking the game off? People talk shit like, oh, you should never take a game off in professional sports. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe not take a game off, but
Right.
try some shit in a meaningless game. Why
Yeah.
not? Like, that's essentially a scrimmage, and maybe they considered this a scrimmage, although it is a rivalry game. So
In a division game. So
Yeah.
it was shocking. But, yeah, out of that 6-game teaser we had, that was the only team that lost. And then I went hard on the Seahawks and Saints, and I got my pants pulled down, and I got spanked. The Saints game was abysmal. If you're in just a Louisiana sports team fan this year, whew, I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friends.
And I assume
it is
they're all
brutal down there.
I assume they're all Astros fans too, probably, or Braves fans. If you're a Braves fan in Louisiana, you're probably doing it right. If you're an Astros fan, things are starting to get rough.
Yeah, things are starting to get rough. But for the Saints game, because I was flipping back and forth last night between the Saints and the Braves. Obviously, I'm a diehard Braves fan, but I had a lot of money on that Saints game. Drew Brees not only looked old, but they're starting to pull him more and more. And Taysom Hill played a lot of snaps last night at quarterback, and Brees was getting frustrated and pissed. And there was downs. They were bringing him in on like 2nd and 9, right? And then Taysom Hill would run around the end, kind of get 3 yards or whatever. And Drew Brees would literally look at Sean Payton and be like, "What the fuck, bro? Now I'm left with a 3rd and 7. Like, what am I supposed to do with this?" And it threw off the rhythm of that entire game, in my opinion. I just think looking at Brady and looking at Brees this week, we can finally say that they are getting old. And I don't see either of those teams close to competing for a Super Bowl this year. And it looks like those two guys are just going to ride out their career. And that's kind of it for me. I'm personally writing off Brees and Brady after this week, where this is the second game that Brady has looked like this. Brees has looked like this in most of these games, where he's just not throwing the deep ball anymore. And a lot of people are saying, hey, Michael Thomas didn't play again. Well, look, man, if you're waiting for Michael Thomas to go downfield to throw a fucking deep ball, that's crazy. You still have Emmanuel Sanders and all these other guys. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I just think Brees is old. I think Brady is old. And I think both of them have had long, great, amazing careers. They are first ballot Hall of Famers. But they are not going to lead your team to a Super Bowl anymore. And it clearly looks like the Saints are looking towards the future. For the Buccaneers, I'm not sure what the upgrade was from fucking crab legs.
I said this week too, by the way, I was like, these stats that Tom Brady's putting up, they seem very similar
To crab legs.
to Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had a couple of big games now that's kind of spread it out a little bit. And he's got 12 TDs and 4 interceptions now, which is not very crab leg-esque. But the last 2 games, the first 2 games, he had 3 of each.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Then he had 2 big games, 3 and 5 touchdowns respectively, and only 1 pick. And last game he only had 1 out of the 41 passes he threw. He only had 1 touchdown, and more importantly, he had a 61% completion percentage. And for the year, his completion percentage is
shit.
It's 64.3%. But that's about his career average. It's 64%. So
Yeah.
he's never been that guy. Like Drew Brees, on the other hand, I think his career percentage is like 72 or 74 or some shit like that. It's huge.
He's way up there. But, when I was watching that Saints team last night, I kept thinking, because, crab legs is now on the Saints.
It's 67%, but the last couple of years he's been in like the mid 70s, low to mid 70s.
Crab legs is third string in New Orleans. So,
that was a good pickup for them.
I was high on Taysom Hill, and I'm not sure if he's an NFL quarterback. He's a do-it-all type of dude. I'd be excited to see him play a full game at quarterback to see what he can do. But if you're the Saints, you're still kind of in this. Like, do you pop in crab legs for a game just to see what happens? Against the Carolina Panthers.
What's that old? I think I heard. I think it may have been Tony Dungy discussing it with the Nick Foles situation. And I think he said you have to know that, or everybody knows, if you're a head coach, when you pull your starter out, then he's out. Like, there's no putting him back in after
Right.
that. Not unless something goes terribly wrong.
Right.
Like, that's you're benching him at that point, and I don't think they're ready to bench Brees. I think
I don't either.
There would be a riot in that city.
I agree, and I think they'll let him ride out the rest of the year. But I definitely think this is his last year. I don't see them bringing him back.
What
he looks
about
too old? And then
I mean, next year, if you had, let's just say you use Taysom Hill as a split back or slot receiver and he's on the field for 60-70% of the offense, and Jameis Winston's a quarterback. Because Jameis Winston, by the way, runs a 4.9 40. He's a fast dude.
he got LASIK too. So
Yeah, the idea of Winston being the quarterback, he's got a huge arm, by the way. He does throw a lot of picks, but he's got a huge arm. He can definitely throw the ball downfield to a guy like Michael Thomas. And if Taysom Hill were to take direct snaps, it's not out of the question that he could turn that Winston, if you wanted to risk him, I don't know if you would, but he's a big dude. So I don't know if that would be that much. He's 6'4", 230 or 240.
Yeah.
So would you want to risk him getting injured? Probably not. But if you use him as if he lined up in the slot on some of those plays, and having the threat of Taysom Hill on the field all the time creates a huge problem for the defense.
Yeah, and he can catch the ball really well.
He can catch the ball really well. He can run. He's fast as fuck. But again, Jameis Winston can scramble pretty well. He's got pretty good pocket presence, and he's fast. I mean, he's 4'9", 40.
Yeah.
He's 6'4", 240. That's a big motherfucker running towards you. That's Derrick Henry size almost. He's like maybe 15, 20 pounds lighter than Derrick Henry.
Big boy. He's a big boy.
It would be interesting for their offense to have all those weapons plus mobility and two different people on the field at one time that can play quarterback. It would be something we've never seen before. I don't know if the current coach there could do it. I think they would have to replace. I think when Brees leaves, he leaves.
I do too.
Right?
I think he's out of there. I agree. And then as far as the rest of the games, look, man, we were pretty decent for the rest of these. Picked the Rams, picked the Steelers, picked the Ravens, picked the Texans was a big. I had 500 on the Texans. That was a good one.
Yeah, I bet that one too.
We didn't bet the Dolphins 49ers game. Stayed away from the Colts Browns game. And then luckily stayed away from this Cowboys game because the Cowboys have looked like shit all year. It was 8.5, and I know they were playing the worst team in the world, but I was like, man, what else could go wrong for the Cowboys? And then the thing that went wrong was the thing that we were talking about preseason, where Dak Prescott decided not to take the $36 million a year,
right,
and said, no, I want the Mahomes deal. You and I both said preseason that was way too much money for a guy who's not that accurate and has not won a Super Bowl like Mahomes. Therefore, asking for that kind of money is ridiculous. Jerry Jones, in my opinion, was way too fucking kind by giving him the $36 million a year option with $110 million guaranteed, I believe it was.
Here's the big
We
problem.
both said preseason, take the fucking money, stop being an idiot, because if you get hurt, you are fucked. You are not that great.
Maybe. I mean, look, here's the deal. After the franchise tag that he signed this year, he's now, if they franchise him again next year, if they decide to take another year, and because look, they don't have, who's their backup that's going to become the quarterback?
Andy Dalton.
He's not going to become the quarterback of the future there.
He's not. But
so here's the thing. You can get quarterbacks just like in a fantasy draft. You can get good quarterbacks late first and early second round pretty regularly.
Yeah.
It's not like the Jordan Love kid that Green Bay took. That was not a mistake. They were right to do that, by the way. We thought it was kind of weird at the time, but them doing that fucking lit a massive. They knew they had Aaron Rodgers pinned in, but because of the cap, he can't leave until at like 2023 at the earliest, I think, right? Like he can, maybe 2022 if they bend some stuff, but he's not going to want to because they're going to be winning because Green Bay's looking great right now.
Right.
They lit a fire under his ass knowing that he couldn't go anywhere but fucking onto the field to win. And he's a fucking egomaniac, obviously. The fact that he wouldn't hand the ball for years proves
it's great.
that. So their general manager fucking figured that shit out pretty well. I think the Prescott thing, because he signed that franchise tag and they don't have anybody waiting in the wings, if they bring him back to give him another test year next year, his franchise tag is $37.7 million for next year. Yeah. Which means when he comes off that year, provided he does have a good year next year and doesn't suffer long-term effects of this ankle injury, then he's going to be in line for a $40 million a year contract. So maybe it does work out for him.
Maybe. I wouldn't do it, and I don't think it does. And if I'm the Cowboys...
I mean, he's only going to be 28 at the end of next season.
Yeah. But that's still 28 years old with a broken leg with a bone sticking through his fucking thing.
Here's the argument. So Stephen A. Smith was going crazy about this shit the other day pissed off. I don't know if he was trying to imply there's some kind of racial element to it.
There was. So I heard that from a lot of people, that Jerry Jones was a racist and that he didn't pay him the money he was supposed to and blah, blah, blah. No, Jerry Jones overpaid that motherfucker. $36 million a year is overpaying for Dak fucking Prescott.
Well, the argument that he was making was in 2013, at 32 years old, Tony Romo got a good extension that commensurate to this one was better numbers-wise. It was like among the top 2 in the league at the time. And let's be real.
But it was like $16 million a year, not $36 million.
And Romo, let's be real, Romo didn't probably deserve that money then either. He didn't deserve be one of the top 2 paid quarterbacks in the league. So you can make that argument, but maybe Jerry Jones learned a lesson by doing that, and now he's not going to do it again. Maybe that's the lesson. Maybe it's not just some old racist dude.
Right.
Maybe he's just like, well, I made that mistake before. Why would I do it again just to be politically correct? Since when has Jerry Jones been politically correct?
Yeah, and I think, look, you get stuck in this zone in the NFL where finding a good quarterback is so hard to do that even a game manager, a mediocre one, right, will still get top money. And with Tony Romo in particular, in this fucking racial argument that I've heard back and forth all weekend, Tony Romo was the best available at that time. You had to pay him that money. With Dak Prescott, to me, he's not the best available. He's the best available for the Cowboys, but how much is that worth? And apparently it was worth $36 million a year. Now, why risk all of that? An injury for an extra $16 million to $20 million on that deal. At that point, what the fuck do you care anymore? It's just greed because it's the NFL and you can get hurt on every single play and break your fucking leg in half, and that's exactly what happened. The irony of it is Tony Romo was calling that game.
Yeah.
And when Dak Prescott got his leg broken in half, Tony Romo's statement was, "Ooh, man, it looks like a cramp. I hope he's going to be okay." I clearly he had not seen what had happened to the bone sticking out of the sock, but I had to rewind that to be like, "Hey, man, were you fucking with him?" Or turns out he did. That is the one call that Tony Romo definitely missed. He's the best announcer in the game, but he definitely missed that call. I don't think Dak gets that money. If I'm the Cowboys, I tank out for the rest of the year and try to get Justin Fields. I don't think they're going to be awful enough to get Trevor Lawrence. But Justin Fields will probably be sitting there in the top 5. And what's the difference between a Justin Fields and a Dak Prescott? And you get him under a rookie contract. Fuck it.
They're probably going to be more likely to take Trey Lance, to be honest.
Yeah, or Trey Lance. You're right. I'm fine with either of those.
And Lance he's another big guy, 6'3", 225 or so, and he runs like a 4.5, 4.6 40.
Yeah.
Right? So if that's the kind of offense you're looking to run, I mean, he's a better version of Dak. I don't know what his completion percentage is, and also don't know what kind of competition he's faced yet.
He's not faced any,
because
he's in North Dakota State. Yeah.
So,
but if you're looking at it, if you're Jerry Jones and you're looking at the landscape now, there's 3 great quarterbacks that will be drafted in the top 10. You will be. I think
number 4 quarterback, by the way, I think is no, it's Jamie Newman from Georgia, then Trask. So it's not a deep. It's not a deep quarterback year.
There's only those 3. Yikes. So if you're the Cowboys, you're going to have a shitty enough record. I'd be fine not paying Dak and going after some defense. They need fucking help on defense, for Christ's sakes. Yeah. They need some corners. I don't know what the difference is between a Justin Fields or a Dak Prescott, in my opinion. And just say, hey, we're not winning the Super Bowl for a couple years, but Justin Fields would be sexy as fuck in a Cowboys uniform as Zeke Elliott. It'd be great because look, Trevor Lawrence is going number 1, which is going to lead me to the greatest day. Maybe the greatest 24 hours in my life in Atlanta sports. Atlanta advances to the the NLCS. I'm super amped. And then what happens the next day? We finally fire our fucking coach and GM for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, that took a while.
Goodbye. Bye, Dan Quinn. It was 2 years too late, brother. They should have fired you 2 years ago. Him and Dimitrov are not going to work here anymore. They're fucking gone, dude. That should have happened after they blew the first 20-point lead of the season to the Cowboys, but it didn't. They waited until Game 5. So the Falcons are now 0-5. Can I give you a dream scenario? If there was a dream catcher in my room, can I give you my dream scenario?
We need to go there's 2 things, but one, we need to go on T.I.'s new podcast because he's on the same tip. He's like, we need to get Matt Ryan on a one-way trip the fuck out of here now.
Yeah.
Get him out now. Trade him for whatever the fuck, second-round pick or whatever it is. Draft Lawrence next year and move on.
Matt Ryan would be great at the Cowboys. Trade him to the Cowboys. They need a quarterback, right?
What can they give up?
Doesn't matter. Have a song. Have T.I. sing a song. I want the copyright of that song for Matt Ryan. I'm all done with Matt Ryan. I think he's in his 30s now. We're good. We didn't win a Super Bowl.
Well, the GM said
I want to move on. Yeah.
The GM said we'll see.
We'll see.
Which is not good.
Arthur Blank. So
it's not good.
My dream, if I'm on some ketamine and I'm in a teepee out back, is for Dabo Swinney to become our next head coach and bring Trevor Lawrence with him with the first pick in the NFL draft 2021. Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, Atlanta Falcons. Bring Dabo Swinney and Trevor Lawrence to Atlanta. Let's bring Trevor Lawrence home. He's a Georgia boy. They will sell out every fucking game, and it will be a dream. We are currently 0-5. Let's go ahead and lose the next 11 on purpose and call it a day. Julio Jones is hurt. He got a hamstring injury. Why let him play anymore? Let's sideline him. Let's keep it going for next year. Back up the truck for Dabo. Let's go tank for Trevor, and then we create a dynasty.
What do you mean by backing up the truck for Dabo? And here's why I ask, because
it's going to take a big dollar amount to buy him out of Clemson because he signed on for
through 2028.
Yes,
and his average salary per year there is going to be $9.3 million.
Correct.
And if he were making that much in the NFL, he would be the 5th highest paid coach for a guy that's never coached professional football. Unlikely.
So when I say backing up the truck, they're going to have to buy out Clemson. That's
it's still Dallas. No, I mean like I think,
No. I'm saying in Atlanta.
You want in Atlanta? They're not going to pay $9 million.
I want Dabo Swinney and I want Trevor Lawrence in Atlanta. I want the whole fucking franchise there. They might look, man.
Dan Quinn only made $8 million a year.
You're in the ballpark. I mean, you're not that far off.
I think if Clemson wins the national title, there's at least some chance. If you're Dabo, you have to go looking elsewhere for new challenges, right?
Because the other rumor,
you don't want to be Bobby Bowden, in my opinion.
No,
you want to be Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll. Everybody gave him a lot of shit back in the day because old ball coach failed, and then fucking Saban failed even worse than him.
Oh yeah.
And Pete Carroll leaving college to come to the NFL was a huge risk, and it's clearly worked out for him pretty well.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, you know what I mean?
Well, Pete Carroll
he was known
also
as an offensive coach.
Had to get out of there.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. But I think Dabo's the same way. He is a master at getting the most out of his talent and recruiting good talent, right?
Yeah.
Which is something that is obviously more important in the college game. But when you're talking about dealing with particularly a team that has superstars on it, like, I mean, if they keep Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and fucking
Trevor Lawrence.
Well, yeah, obviously Trevor Lawrence as well. I mean, that becomes a big deal at that point.
Pure sex on a football field.
And Gurley's looking pretty good. I mean,
he surprisingly, man, his leg is holding up, and it's like, all right, great. So let's try to figure out that.
He's only 26. He's got 3-4 more years of good football left.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe 6 if he's lucky, but probably 3-4, right?
Right.
Statistically speaking, that's a lot of time to get some shit done. If you're able to keep Julio Jones and keep him healthy, get Matt Ryan out of there, bring Trevor Lawrence in, keep Ridley healthy, and keep Todd Gurley healthy, then you got a pretty
Gage kid
good
looks
team.
good.
But what do you do about
looks good.
What do you do about the defense? Because if you're trying to trade Matt Ryan to the Cowboys, especially, and you're trying to get something defensively back, they don't have anything to give.
No, Tank Lawrence is about the only one on that team. Maybe Jalen Smith.
Tank Lawrence.
People are making fun of me in the chat. They're like, "Hey, dude," on YouTube. They're like, "They're not going to happen, Ross." I said, Craig, that I can dream. Okay, and if you take away my dreams, take away my you take away my dreams is what you do. But I want it to happen. I am putting this on my vision board, and I'm probably going to go home and watch The Secret on DVD.
Were you just
tonight
quoting Yeats?
Yeah.
Tread softly because you tread on my dreams.
Yeah, I was.
What is it? I being poor have only my dreams.
Yep.
Tread softly because you tread on my dreams. It's a man talking to a woman saying, "Look, I don't have any money, but here's some romantic shit. Hopefully you'll let me get in that."
Yeah, that behold.
All poetry is about anal.
Chandler Hobson says Bama wins the Natty, retires, and Dabo comes to Bama. Roll Tide, love the show.
Maybe
we'll get to that actually because I've Bama. We'll get to Bama here in a second because they have a defense that does not look like they are ready to play in the SEC anymore. They came up with 58 points over the weekend or something crazy.
And Dabo's pretty good at making defenses, and he also
they're not getting rid of Saban.
He also played at Alabama and coached at Alabama.
Yeah, they're not going to get rid of Saban. I can promise you that. But if Saban retires, and then yes, they would go after Dabo in 2 seconds. I have a feeling Bama would, but we'll see. But as far as the Falcons and the Cowboys and all that shit, like I think you can write off those teams for the rest of the year. Most of these guys who are playing right now, and I know there's been a lot of injuries this year in the NFL. I feel like we were pretty on track before the season. I didn't have the Cowboys or Dallas doing shit. I had Seattle against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl preseason. And that was where all the money went. And so far, those look like the two best teams, with the Ravens being third. And that's exactly what we had said going forward. Now, if Lamar Jackson or Pat Mahomes gets hurt, it's another story. But yeah, we'll see. Or Russell Wilson.
I mean, honestly, I could see the Packers beating the Seahawks. That's such an evenly matched game. It'll come down to Rodgers getting his number one receiver back at some point, right? Because DK Metcalf is on goddamn fire right now.
I know. He looks great.
Even that play that they didn't give him at the end of the game, that was a great fucking play. He just happened to fucking be a little bit out. And then the second cat, he did it like on basically back-to-back plays, making great plays on back-to-back plays. That's like fucking Butker kicking 3 58-yard field goals and only 2 of them count, or 4 58.
I've never wanted to suck off a kicker more than I have Harrison Butker.
Yeah, I mean, that is incredible. And he's, what is he, like 23 years old or some shit? 22?
Who knows? After he won that 8-game parlay for me a couple weeks ago, I was ready to take him into my mouth. And
he's a great player. I think that'll be in the NFC. That's the best game of the year. Whether do they play in the regular season, or is it only
Seattle and
Green Bay? Yeah.
I don't know actually.
He's 22. DK Metcalf.
We'll find out. Yeah, he's young. He's really young.
Jesus Christ.
He's a monster. We'll find out. But I want to flip over to college real quick.
They don't play in the regular season, which means their first matchup will probably be in the NFC Championship.
Yes, if those QBs and teams stay healthy. We'll flip over to college. Had a decent college weekend, so I can't really bitch about that. I was one game away from the parlay and teaser, and that one as well. The only loss I had on Saturday was Florida. Florida looked like garbage trash, and I don't know who's going to come out of that side anymore because, look, Georgia ended up rolling Tennessee, and I had a lot of money on that. But it took in the second half. They did not look great against Tennessee in the first half in that game. LSU, can we talk about it, or can we not talk about it?
We can, but I on the show I was discussing taking the over or the under on Texas, Oklahoma, and I took the first half under and not the second half under when I got lucky and won that one. So I was technically 3-1 in college this year.
I don't know why. So looking at the college landscape, I don't know why anyone is taking any unders whatsoever. Every game is 90 to fucking 88 this year.
You don't expect,
never seen anything like it.
You don't expect the teams to score a combined 36 points in overtime either, right? You can't plan for that. I got lucky on that one. I think the first half over was like 40 or some shit like that. I don't remember. It was crazy.
I know the entire game was like 72. It was 72, fucking gnarly. Yeah. The biggest bet of the weekend, though, which won me the most amount of money, was Clemson. Clemson was the lock that day. And, dude, at 13.5, there was a joke. Miami's a fucking joke.
Hard to tell if Miami is that big of a joke or if Clemson is that much better than everybody else.
I just don't believe in Miami, personally.
Etienne looks better than he ever has in his career. Lawrence looks like Lawrence.
Look, Etienne had 17 carries for 149 yards and 2 TDs in that game, and they rolled them. I mean, that was just an absolute fuck job, in my opinion.
And they don't play another good team until Notre Dame on November 7th.
If you want to call them a good team, that's on you. I'm not fucking sleeping like that at night. I'm not calling Notre Dame a good team. But that was an easy one. That was 13.5, and they ended up winning by, I don't know, close to 30 or something like that. That was a fun game. And then Alabama Ole Miss, 63-48. And this is what the SEC has to look forward to this year. We said this preseason when we did the preseason show. Lane Kiffin is now in that conference. He's now the coach of Ole Miss. He's chucking the ball. Mike Leach is in that conference. I don't know what the fuck he's doing there. But they housed LSU the first game to put 48 on Bama's defense and force Bama to score 63 points. It's not great. Because you know who has great defenses? Clemson and Ohio State.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the play calling of Lane Kiffin that's forcing him. You can look at this two ways if you're a Bama fan. Hey, man, somebody came in and threw the fucking kitchen sink at us, and we had to score more points, and that's what we did, and Bama's got a great offense. Or you can say Bama's got a shitty defense, and we should have played better. I don't know the answer. It's gonna be a weird college football season. All of these overs though are just being hit. I don't even know if one lost. I mean, I'm looking at these scores here from the top 20. You had a 59 points. You got close to 60 points in this Miami Clemson game. My God, man, this Alabama Ole Miss was 101. 111. I'm sorry. That's my math. It's terrible.
Well, Alabama plays Georgia this week.
Yes, that is the very best game of this week, and I'm looking really forward to that because Georgia's got a good defense.
They have
They did not play well in the first half against Tennessee.
Seems like they have a better than good defense, but we're about to fucking find out.
Yeah, we are. Florida, pretender. That was an abysmal performance they put up against Texas A&M. There was no defense. Florida typically has a great defense. That was the only game I lost in college football on Saturday was this game. I'm not sure what happened to their defense, but there was a million plays when I was watching that game where there were just like 40-yard bombs, and I was like, what are you doing?
They're definitely not going to be top 10 after this week. I don't care what happens because Ohio State is definitely going to win handily. Probably they'll move into the number 3 position.
But Ohio State doesn't play for another 10 days, so that will. I don't know. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with these rankings here coming up.
Well, Georgia's going to lose to Alabama, so they're going to have to go down the line a little bit. I don't know what will happen with Notre Dame. You never know what's going to happen with Notre Dame, but I can't imagine that North Carolina's going to be rocking around in the top 5 much longer either, even though.
And Notre Dame, by the way, my prediction came true. They did not cover against Florida State.
No, man, come on.
So that didn't come through. North Carolina. Look,
they play Florida State this week. They're going to light them up.
But listen to these scores here, just going down the top 25. Florida, Texas A&M, 41-38. That's 79 total points. Beat the over. Florida State, Notre Dame, 42-26. 68 points. They beat the over. Virginia Tech, North Carolina, 45-56. Throttled the over. Auburn, Arkansas, 2 shit teams. 58 points combined. Auburn barely eked it out. Even this BYU UTSA game. And you said, and I said, not to bet this fucking game. It was BYU plus like 28 points or something crazy. It was just a 27-20 game. Like UTSA, whoever the fuck that is.
That's the team we saw Texas play week 1.
It was 59-3.
It's Texas San Antonio.
Yeesh, they're awful. BYU barely won by a touchdown.
That's a D2 school, I'm pretty sure.
And then Texas Oklahoma, 45-53. The over is the move this year. I can't wait to see these overs in the upcoming games. But LSU got beat again. There's not many times I can say this. Like it's a rebuild. You're in a rebuild down there in Louisiana. And it's going to be a while before you get back there.
Louisiana University, the Ragin' Cajuns, are 3-0 and ranked 21st in the nation, which is a fucking bizarro world. And I don't know how BYU wins against UTSA by 7 points, and they're 14th in the country.
I don't get it.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't get it. Are you drinking First Leaf? Is that tryfirstleaf.com/Drinkin Bros? They're not typically a football sponsor.
This is declass red wine. It means it's French for declassified, and there's a bunch of redacted shit on the label.
That's really
kind
funny.
of a gimmick, but it's actually really good wine.
I like it. The wine's great. Go to tryfirstleaf.com/Drinkin Bros for that one. The last thing we want to talk about before we get into the sponsors and give you our spreads for the week is the Lakers winning the NBA championship. Now, look. When Kobe Bryant died, I literally pounded the desk and said, hey, if you're truly consider yourself one of the greatest players of all time, you've got to win this title for Kobe. Credit to LeBron for doing it. But nobody watched it. I didn't watch that. That was the first time since I think I was 7 years old that I didn't watch the last game of like an NBA finals game.
Yeah.
The politics and all that shit buried us. Adam Silver came out and said they're not doing any of that bullshit next year.
Yeah.
So you can take it to your other platforms, and I'm using a hard air quotes on platforms on that one. It's not going to be on the court or on the back of the jerseys in the NBA anymore. The ratings were the lowest of all time.
And if you worked at like fucking Target, or anywhere else, and you just decided to once a day go over to the fucking intercom and tell everybody about the Black Lives Matter movement, or tell everybody about Trump, or about libertarianism, or about being a vegan, they would fire you first because your job is to do your job, not to do that shit. Like, if you want to do post-game interviews and talk about that the whole time, like, fuck the game, I'm talking about issues. I'm fine with that. Actually, I love that because that's actually using your platform in a way that isn't distracting from the entertainment element, because now you're doing, in my opinion, you're doing service to the game. You're also doing service to your community all at the same time. Then you follow that up with action in the community. Then you have the trifecta. That's the way you should be doing it. You're using the game to build your platform, using your platform to bring awareness, and then using the awareness plus your money to fucking actually make change. That's a good combination of shit. Just pasting fucking platitudes on the field and then championing these people who are clearly not great individuals. Not that necessarily they were treated appropriately. In some cases they were, some cases they weren't, but it's just weird to me.
Yep.
Like, maybe let's try to figure out the stuff that actually works and do that instead of fighting over how we're doing things. It seems reasonable, but I don't know.
Seems reasonable,
Maybe
Dan, but that is not going to happen.
Should probably start a show about that.
Yeah, should probably start a podcast about that. But didn't watch the game, but I will. Look, man, I will give a shout out to LeBron for bringing it home. You needed to do that, in my opinion. I still have him at 3. I've got Jordan at 1, Kobe at 2, and I got LeBron begrudgingly at 3, just because I dislike him. But
no, I think that's appropriate because of.
But everybody else is saying LeBron is the greatest.
Those last 2 championships that Kobe won, Kobe won.
Yeah, by himself.
Like, he didn't have anywhere near the talent that even the Jordan Bulls had. He didn't have a Scottie Pippen on that team. Who was this fucking Scottie Pippen?
I guess
Pau
Gasol.
Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, he's not a dominant player that can take over the game. Shaq or Kobe could have taken over the game.
Right.
Jordan or Pippen could have taken over a game.
Right.
Fucking LeBron or AD can take over a game.
Yeah.
Right? Or LeBron or fucking Dwayne Wade or LeBron or Kyrie Irving. Any of those guys could have taken over games individually. There's no version of that, those last 2 Lakers championships. I think that Kobe has a much better argument for GOAT than LeBron does. Like,
I do too.
1v1 versus Jordan. I think
Same.
he's got. What LeBron does have is the longevity and consistency. He's the most consistent player in NBA history that's a dominant player, and nobody else is even close.
He was built by God, if you believe in that, physically perfect to play basketball.
Or to be
and that
a
is his
fucking
biggest
tight end.
asset. Yeah,
If
he could have been.
If he would have been a tight end, he would have been the best tight end of all time.
Of all time, yeah. Better than Antonio Gates.
Yeah, or Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Like, he's like a mix of those 2 guys, but like 2 inches taller, basically.
The best
and faster.
physical body you could possibly be born with for an athlete, next to like Michael Phelps.
And he didn't fucking rest on that, because a lot of guys have.
Right.
Dwight Howard, for example.
Yeah.
Should have been the best center in the history of the NBA. He's got all the tools for it. Just doesn't have the brain for it. LeBron had the perfect body for it, and he works as hard as anybody in the NBA.
Yeah.
Same thing with fucking Curry, who has been a great shooter because he's been shooting since he was like 2 years old. Kevin Durant's got a perfect body, even though he could use a little more bulk down low, but his mobility at that height and shooting ability makes him unstoppable. Those guys also do the other thing. They work hard. Right. So you can't really, LeBron's kind of, oh man, he's the cringiest.
I know. Look,
I want my damn respect.
I know.
That is the cringiest shit I've ever heard an athlete say.
I like your respect for what, though, is what I don't understand.
You're already in the conversation.
Yes.
Like, it's most human beings will say it's either him, Kobe, or Jordan, or maybe Kareem or something as the best, most dominant NBA player ever.
Yeah, or Bill Russell.
Maybe Bill Russell.
Or Oscar Robertson or somebody like that.
But it's like, there's no conversation that doesn't include him by a reasonable person.
Yeah.
Why is that not enough? Why does the most people have to think you're the best for you to be okay with that?
So I guess he was pissed off about the MVP and then it went to Giannis. And look, the MVP is a regular season award.
He's got fucking 3 fucking.
Yes.
That's the one that matters is at the end, bro.
And I think Kobe only had like 1 MVP. Will you double check that, fake Dan? I think he's only got one MVP award.
In the regular season.
Now, All-Star Game awards, he's got a ton, and he's got a ton of Finals MVP. But I think like regular season MVP, Kobe doesn't have that many.
2-time Finals, 1-time regular season.
Yeah, regular season MVP. So like, if you're saying I want my damn respect that you weren't the MVP during the regular season, you did not have as great as a regular season as Giannis. Sorry, you had a better postseason, and you won the MVP for that. But as far as like getting your respect, you're already in the conversation. I'm super happy the Last Dance doc aired this year because everybody was able to go back and watch that and truly understand that Jordan was the greatest. And I still don't know how you beat 6-0.
Jordan was the greatest because he wanted to be, and he never said it out loud. You know what? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like he wanted to be the greatest more than anything that ever happened in his life. He didn't like he won 3 straight NBA championships. I don't think he left basketball because of his dad. I think he left. He was like, you know what? I can go to this. I think it was his ego. He's like, you know what? I can fucking go play baseball right now. Fuck you guys.
I think it was a combination of 3. His dad, he was burnt out, and the ego as well. But if you look back at it, like hindsight is obviously 20/20, and
Right.
watching that doc was great. He was exhausted after those titles, anyways. So
I mean,
maybe that 2 years off helped him, or maybe he wouldn't have won the other 3.
That's another. I mean, a lot of people make that argument that if he had stayed, he would have won 8 straight. I don't know, man. I mean, LeBron is the only guy we've seen go to 8 straight finals like that. And if you're going deep into playoff, let's say you make it to at least the 3rd round. I mean, he made 8 straight finals.
Yeah.
But you make it to at least the 3rd round. You're talking about 5.5 games per series typically, right? And that's 3 series. That's fucking that's 20 extra games per year. The NBA season is
only
82 games,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that's every 4 years that he did that. It wasn't full extra season. He did that twice. He did 2 full extra seasons. 8 seasons in a row. He got 1 year off, and now he's back this year and won it again.
Yeah.
He's the most athletic human being that I think has ever existed that played professional sports.
Probably.
I mean, the combination of size, speed, durability, like hand-eye coordination, talent, all that stuff, and then the brain to put all that shit together, the drive to put it all together. I think he's the best athlete of all time. I don't think he's the best NBA player of all time, though.
Right. Because
Jordan had that thing that
Jordan
nobody
and
else had.
Kobe, it was will, right? And they had the will, and they wanted to kill you every single night. Whereas LeBron was physically born perfect, and then he had the drive to go with it. And I don't know if he's as smart as Jordan or has that cutthroat attitude, but whatever. I still, LeBron is at 3 to me. Congratulations to the Lakers. I just didn't watch the series, man, because of the political shit. I still love basketball, man. I just want to get away from
I love
that.
Anthony Davis too. I'm glad he won a chip because you don't want to be Barkley.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not like I love Charles Barkley. I think actually he gets this. He has this reputation as kind of a fucking bumbling, mumbling. Oh, that's terrible, that whole thing. But Charles Barkley, if you actually watch the shows, he knows basketball really
Most
well.
entertaining NBA team of all time. Him, Kenny, that whole team that they've got, Shaq and Ernie Johnson. No, it's
Olajuwon was gone then, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm talking about.
I'm talking on the
I'm
desk.
talking about the late '90s.
Yeah. But in when he was playing though, look, he's the greatest announcing team of all time. But when he was playing, he was just in the wrong era, man. There was too many great players against him. You got to go against Jordan every year. You're not going to fucking win. Sometimes that happens too.
I mean, Jordan had that.
Imagine going against Kobe and Shaq.
If he had been 4 years younger than Jordan, he probably would have had 2 championships. Like he would have stolen one of those late '90s championships, and he would have won. He probably would have stolen one of the early 2000s from San Antonio, probably, right? But kind of like how Jordan was a little bit younger than the fucking Pistons. They aged out eventually, and then he took over that fucking division, that conference for years.
I think Kobe and Shaq could have won 1 or 2 more had they stayed together.
For sure, but it's again the same thing. Like after 3 straight seasons of that,
you're exhausted. I understand.
And they didn't go just to the 3rd round. They went to the finals all those years.
Yeah.
That's a full season in 3 years that they played extra. I mean, LeBron played about 2.5 extra seasons over 8 years.
Yeah.
And they played about a season over 3. And that's a lot. And I think it wears on your relationship. I think Kobe wanted to be the best.
Yep.
And he wanted to challenge himself. I think he probably pushed Shaq out of LA.
Oh, yeah, easily.
I mean, there's no direct.
That was his call.
There's no direct evidence of that. But if you're going to pick between the two, are you going to pick between the guy that has turf toe that's getting older and has got weight issues, or you're going to pick between fucking Mamba? You know what I mean? There's no real choice there. I think it would have been interesting to see that. That's why I like everybody's got these negative views towards super teams or whatever. I want to see the best thing on the court.
Same.
Maybe I make 20 teams and let's have the best goddamn 20 teams we can have instead of 30.
Yeah, not going to happen. They want the fucking
too
money.
much money, yeah.
Too much money. They want the ad dollars. Speaking of which, we got some ad dollars for our show. KillcliffCBD.com.
Are we really getting paid for this?
We are. Isn't it crazy?
Sweet.
Every day feels like a dream that we're actually getting paid to do this every day. KillcliffCBD.com is the best in the biz. 25 milligrams of CBD in every single can. I can tell you Shaq's probably drinking a can of that shit every night. We are. If you've got back aches or pains or joint problems or whatever, CBD is where it's at, kids, and there is no THC in it, so you will not piss hot. If you're a member of the military or a first responder out there and you got to take some drug tests, you're not going to piss hot for the THC. And killcliffcbd.com, 4 amazing flavors. Grape, orange kush.
I just got 4 new cases today.
I'm out, dude. And last night I went to grab a can and I'm out and I'm so pissed. I was like, God damn it. I need I need a Kill Cliff. Can you put it on a fucking order there on their website where it just ships to you every month?
I think you can actually.
God damn it, man. Because every time I run out, I'm so pissed off.
We should have started getting it
last night. I know. I was angry last night. They took away I used my promo code. I don't care.
No. I mean wholesale as in.
Oh, yeah. Bulk.
Like buy a
thousands of cans. Yeah. Exactly. Look, we drink this shit every night. It's
I don't know that they do a subscription service, but I'm going to fucking tell them today that they need to. Actually, I'm going to text Ryan Roberts right now.
Be great. I every single month when I'm out, I'm like, shit, it's going to be like 3 days. Go to killcliffcbd.com, promo code Drinkin Bros. Get you 20% off and free shipping. I promise you, this is the best canned drink on the planet. There's a reason only us and like Rogan are promoting it, is because it is fucking fantastic, dude. Next up, we got mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles your deposit. All the bets that you hear week after week, night after night due to COVID are all going through mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros will double your deposit. All of the spreads that we'll be reading off today are MyBookie spreads. I typically do the ESPN ones, and then D'Anthony does the MyBookie ones, so you can see what the odds are and if people are actually moving up and betting on the day, which is today. This is the day that the Lord hath made. Go to mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros will double your deposit. There is a million things to bet on, and it keeps getting better. We're getting into World Series time. We're in MLB playoff time. Go Braves, chop on. At college, Big Ten is coming back here in a couple weeks. This is a betting extravaganza. It's probably the greatest it's ever been. And then Fake Dan, we got the Masters here in 3 weeks? The Masters are in November.
It's in 4 weeks.
4 weeks, yeah. That's right. They moved it back 1 week. So it's going to be, I think the November the 12th weekend-ish is where it's going to be, the weekend after the election. So we're going hard this year, man. I took a beating over the weekend, but it is what it is. I can't win every single weekend. I can only be the best me that I can be. At mybookie.com, promo code Drinkin Bros, doubling your deposits. Last but not least, ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. Finest mattresses in the land, kids. If you're a member of the military or first responder, or you work in the government, or a teacher, you get 30% off just for being rad at life. If you're a regular dum-dum like myself, it's the October surprise. They got a 30% off bundle package special. So for every single thing in the store, you get 30% off when you bundle it together, and they'll ship it right to your house. Bed comes in a box, dude. Pop it open, you're ready to go. Setup is super easy on the adjustable bases, and the sheets are fucking amazing, dude. They got the elastic band that goes around the mattresses, which is choice. I don't know if they have a patent on that, but I've never seen it before, and I'm a huge fan.
Is Fake Dan not mic'd up over there?
I don't know. I don't think he is. I think fake Dan is mic'd up.
No, he's mic'd up. They said he hasn't earned his mic yet.
Oh, they said he hasn't earned his mic yet. I like
see.
that.
Well, I mean,
I like that.
You guys were
hammer the like button if you're watching on YouTube, and tell Fake Dan to earn his mic. But let's see, fucking Ghostbed. Ghostbed promo code is not Drinkin Bros. It's a URL. I get thrown off by that. I never get thrown off. Ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. 36-month pay-as-you-go program, no interest there. So all of those deals that I just mentioned are applicable with that. Go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today. Let's get to the college football spreads this week. Yeah.
College football, that's something, right?
Yeah, that's the thing that we live on in this world.
Just making sure.
It's our very favorite thing on the planet.
I have to check sometimes because reality's gotten so weird.
I know, right?
That I don't know what's real anymore.
Bet the over on every game. There's a quick tip. First up is Coastal Carolina against the best team in the state of Louisiana. The Louisiana Raging Cajuns.
That cuts deep, doesn't it, Brooke?
Is she in the boards?
She's always in here
That's funny,
for the
man.
sports show.
That's funny. That is the very best state. That's the very best football team, including the New Orleans Saints. Sorry.
Yeah, what are you gonna do, man?
Sorry, not sorry. It's just not your year. It's not the state's year. Of
It used to be. They used to be pretty good.
Yeah. Look, it's just not anymore. It happens. People get older and they grow apart. This spread is at -7.5 for Louisiana. Look, I'm still not on this train of this weird fucking team here.
Yeah.
And it would be irresponsible of me to tell you to bet this game. It is a Wednesday night game, and I realize the junkie in me will probably throw something on this later on down the road, but I'll keep it in private, and I will not tell you to bet on it, nor will I actually put it up. But you can join Drinkin Bros Sports on Facebook, where I will post all of my bets live, just not this one, because I wouldn't tell you about this game. I don't know what's going to happen against Coastal Carolina and Louisiana.
I don't know.
Let's be fucking real.
I don't know. I mean, Louisiana beat Iowa State, right?
Yeah.
Which is not. I mean, look, they're not a great team, but that demonstrates that
They're a team.
That means if they beat a team like Iowa State, that means in a major conference they would probably go 5-5, 4-6, right? Which is enough to beat Coastal Carolina by 7.5 points.
One would think.
I'll take it down to 6.5, and I'm going to take this just because I'm fucking bored.
There we go. Maybe I'll go with you. I'll dip a toe into the water.
Yeah.
I'll buy a point on my bookie because we're junkies and there's nothing else going on
6.5.
Wednesday. 6.5 and see what happens for a hundo, and we'll have a good laugh about it. Next up, we got a Friday night game. Man, my wife is going to hate me this week. The fact that there's this much football on every single night.
Yeah.
Fuck, she's going to hate me, dude, because I'm going to watch all this shit. SMU, who's number 17, they're -6.5 against Tulane. The Green Wave down there.
Now, this one is one I definitely don't touch.
No.
Because the American Conference is, including Cincinnati, by the way, who's a pretty good offensive team, inconsistent as fuck.
Yeah, and SMU was down. They had to hold a monster rally against an unranked team a couple weeks ago, so I'm good to go on this one. Not going to do that. There's another game on Friday night where if you're a true junkie, you bet that game instead. BYU against Houston. Now, Houston has only played one game this season because of COVID. No idea what to think about that, right? But
here's what to think about it.
We know what to think about BYU and the over.
The over is 63. In this game,
I'm doing it.
why the fuck?
Why not?
I mean, Houston doesn't play defense. And when BYU plays teams that don't have defenses, they score in the 40s. And it's not like they're stopping anybody.
No.
This is an easy over pick at 63.
I'm going to take the over on a Friday night. So that is what we're going to do in this one. And look, it's BYU -5.5, like on a straight up bet here.
Yeah.
And I don't know what Houston's going to do because they've been out for 9 weeks with COVID. This is literally their second game of the year.
They're going to score points. Yeah, that's what Houston does.
Exactly. So we're going the over on this one. We're not going BYU, but the over is going to be fun, and they'll probably have it by halftime.
Maybe.
That's my prediction in this game.
Actually, they might have. Well, no, they have first half lines, but I don't think they have first half. Let's see, what is the first?
Yeah, they'll have a first half over and under. I guarantee.
Oh yeah, it's 31.
Yeah.
That's even easier. If you want to bet both, to be honest, that's even easier.
That's a 28-10.
Yeah.
It's an easy one. I'm gonna do all of the things on that one just because that'll be a fun Friday night. That's at 9:30 on ESPN. Saturday, we got Clemson against Georgia Tech. Clemson has looked spectacular, and they covered last weekend. Georgia Tech is awful. The spread is the same. It's the same Clemson spread every single week, Dan. It's -27. Right? They're just trying to get you in there on a 4-score game. And truthfully, you're probably fine with that. Clemson probably wins this by 4 scores. I don't see why they wouldn't, to be honest with you.
You're saying probably against Georgia Tech?
Yeah, 4 scores, 28 points.
I mean, Georgia Tech
It's terrible.
They're really bad.
Yeah.
They're really bad.
So I think you're fine on this game.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of points, but I think you're fine on this. And I'll do it at 27 just in case it is 28. And that's why they're teasing you there, but I'll do that. Next up, Cincinnati, who's climbed up to number 8. And they got the old Ohio State coach there. They got Luke Fickell there. Against Tulsa. This is Cincinnati -3. Having a hard time understanding why this is -3 here because
Also having a hard time understanding an over of 44.
me too.
I mean, Tulsa's probably not going to score a lot of points, but I expect
Cincinnati is a pretty good defense.
I think Cincinnati is going to score this much by themselves
on
against
their
a team
own.
like
They
Tulsa.
might.
I guess we'll see.
This is a strange one. I'll take this, and I'm going to take Cincinnati on this one. I don't understand the spread. It's weird.
Yeah, you know what? I've been tricked a couple of times this year by spreads that looked weird, and I didn't know why, and it seemed like Vegas knew something I didn't, so I'm not taking this game.
Okay.
I'm going to sit it out and pay attention and see what happens.
I'm going to take a Cincinnati on this one. Next up, we got a Pittsburgh against Miami. Miami's trying to bounce back from that embarrassing loss to Clemson. You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it. It's minus 10.5 for Miami. You know, if you want to buy a point and take this down to 9.5, I think you're fine. I think Miami rolls Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has been, I know they're 3-2, but these games have been super fucking close.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh has not covered any of these fucking spreads this year. I've won money twice betting against Pittsburgh this year, and I think Miami's probably fine at 9.5, and they probably win this by 10 plus. I'm good with that.
You know,
It's at Miami.
I don't know if that really matters, but
It's sunny.
Pittsburgh's one of those teams that every now and again pulls one out of their ass. I might take it down to 10 because it's at 10.5 right now.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm going to take it down 1 full point and go to 9.5. That's just me personally. And then also, I want to give Giorgio a shout out, by the way. Mizzou grad. And you know I had to insert it one more time, but you beat LSU.
Yeah, I mean, I even told you last week to put some respect on their names. Like, I chiped in, and I was like, don't sleep on my boys. And then you were like, no, it's not even a real school. You guys are trash. What you should be.
It is, but here, hey, I was honest with the people, and I said not to bet that game, because I said, look, LSU looks like a dumpster fire this year. Don't bet that game, and that was the correct move. I told the audience not to bet that game. I didn't bet that game. We're fine, but I wanted to give you the respect that you deserve and earned this week with Mizzou. Now you can go back to obscurity in Missouri. What city is that in?
It's in Columbia, the center of the state.
Okay.
About 150,000 people.
Ah, look at that.
Yeah.
Good for them. Yeah. Good for them. The winters are remarkably mild there. Next up, we get Auburn against South Carolina. Yeesh. I don't like either of these teams, to be honest with you. And this is the perfect and appropriate spread for this. This is Auburn -3 here. And, if you're betting on this one, chances are you've had a gun to your head in a Motel 6 at some point in your life.
Yeah, I'm not betting on this.
No, dude.
No way.
No. It's just, that's awful. That's awful, man. I'm not sure what Auburn is hopes and dreams are this year, but I thought Nix would have been the guy, not the guy. Nix is definitely not the guy, in my opinion, and I don't know if Malzahn keeps his job after this year. If they lose to this South Carolina team, that would be a real kick in the ding-a-ling. But if you're at home, stay away from this game. This feels like a weird trap, and there is tickets available. So if you go to drinkinbrostickets.com, there's tickets available for most of this shit, and it's surprisingly cheap. So here's my advice. If you're going to drinkinbrostickets.com, a lot of the tickets are high through the early part of the week because it's usually people who own like season tickets and all that shit. And they're like, oh man, I want to get face value. Check back in on your favorite teams right around the Friday to Saturday area. Right before game time, you can get really cheap tickets to all this fucking shit, and you can roll right in the stadium. That's what I did with my child a couple weeks ago, and I use my own fucking ticket site. So go to drinkinbrostickets.com. For all these games, but wait until Friday or Saturday and you get the best prices.
Yeah.
Because we don't rep these tickets. It's brokers, so we're just the middlemen for this. And you get some real cheap tickets on that.
Yeah, basically what we did was just kind of, it's reductive, but we kind of undercut all the other ticket brokers by not charging a fee.
Yeah. It's
we
like
basically give it to you
$10.
We give it to you for it's about $10 off.
$10 off a ticket, I think is what it is. Somewhere 8 to 10, but enough savings, and that way when we go to this shit, you can go as well, and hopefully we're going to the Braves World Series.
Well, that's it. It's not all altruism on our part. It's an easier way for us to coordinate shit.
Yes.
Well, we get
it's great.
We get a scrape, but it's just an easy way for us to coordinate meeting up with you guys at these events.
It's great.
That's really because we can post exactly where we're sitting now.
And we can tell you to buy seats next to us and be like, hey man, I'm sitting in seat 4, section 3. Like, go ahead. We don't give a shit. We'll rage with you all game. Next up, we got Kentucky against Tennessee. This is Tennessee -6. They're number 18. Look, they had a great first half against Georgia last week. So much so, in fact, that people were worried because Daddy had bet a lot of money on that, and so did everybody else in Drinkin Bros Sports. Georgia came back and housed them. They did not score in the second half. But Georgia also has a great defense.
Yeah, they do.
Now, I've watched Kentucky play, and they're not the greatest, but,
They're middle of the road.
middle of the road.
Well, they're probably bottom third in the SEC, but that's not terrible.
Not terrible, but it's not enough to bet this game for me. Like, I don't bet Kentucky versus Tennessee.
Here's my
'cause there's
thoughts.
better games.
I've been thinking about Tennessee since that Georgia game ended. And here's what I think is going on there. I think they've got the right program in place now, and now it's going to take them 2 years to get the talent in. Like, they need to have a good year this year,
Yep.
a little bit better year next year, and then that next recruiting class is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
And then you're going to start seeing Tennessee back on the national stage, in my opinion.
I hope so. I look again
Because that's usually the thing.
Yeah.
Clemson in 12 and 13 did pretty well, but not enough.
right.
Then, as people saw them, because that whole Carolinas and Georgia region is very competitive with football.
Yes.
There's a lot of good teams there.
A
But
lot of good talent out of the high schools.
yeah, the fact that they were able to get fucking Deshaun Watson up there, the fact that they were later to get Trevor Lawrence, those are big steals away from the state of Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And Tennessee's got a lot of good football players around, but they're probably going other places right now. Like, if you're a 5-star recruit, you're not going to Tennessee right now. They come up with a couple of winning seasons, win some bowl games. You're
back. And I'm telling you, as a recruit, because this is one of the schools that I was recruited by, and I got to go up and take back then. And again, I'm super young, so 5 years ago probably.
Yeah, you were around when Peyton Manning was dragging his balls across the foreheads of
freshmen. No, but one of the NCAA visits I took was to Knoxville, and boy, was that a fucking blast. To see the alumni pull up on boats on the river, park their boats, get fucking sauced all day, and then walk off the boats into the game. And it's like their stadium's crazy huge. It was like 110,000 or something like that.
It's big.
And the whole state rallies around Tennessee Vols football, and it's a special experience where if you're a recruit, all they have to be is good a couple years, just like Dan said. Mm-hmm. You will want to go there. I wanted to fucking go there, where I was just like, oh, this is amazing. Ended up going to Ohio State because they had a better team, but whatever. Tennessee is a blast, and it'd be great to see them on the national platform. I know we say this all the time, but it's such a fun school. I just wouldn't bet this game in particular. Wait one more week, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even one more week. You can bet them whenever, but for them to be, if you're a Tennessee fan out there, they're going to be competitive. They're going to be a top 10 team probably 2-3 years from now.
Yep.
So you got something to look forward to, provided they keep this system in place, because the system's clearly working. They're being very competitive against much better teams. Mm-hmm. Like, Georgia's a much better team talent-wise, and it's not even close than Tennessee, but they were still able to hang in there for a good while. That means they're close.
Right. 2 more years, man. They could be back. Yep. Next up, we got Louisville against Notre Dame. Want to give a huge shout-out to Sean Astin today. 27 years ago on this day, Dan, Rudy came out in theaters, and that changed the course of Notre Dame's history, and it also changed the course of our show history, because we burn a Rudy jersey every single year that is signed by him, and or a helmet. Due to COVID this year, that helmet is behind you. It's actually still there. We've not blown it up yet or done anything with that.
We will. We might take it down to the Black Rifle Ranch at the shooting range and let Logan shoot it with like a fucking
50
Barrett 50 cal. or Richard Ryan. Richard Ryan loves to stuff things with whatever,
C4,
whatever explosive he can find, and shoot it with guns and blow it up for full max. So maybe we could do that.
Yeah, it'd be a blast. It'd be
Literally.
a blast. But in the meantime, it sits here COVID safe because of everything that happens. And also the move from North Carolina to Texas. Now, with this Louisville Notre Dame game at -17, I have not bet Notre Dame all year long. I don't believe in this team at all.
I'm not betting. I'm not giving them 17 points.
Me neither. And they certainly didn't cover it last week against Florida State. So I'm not betting on this game at all. And I don't know who this team is yet. We won't know who Notre Dame is, truthfully, because they'll probably win this game. Louisville's terrible, but they'll probably win this game. Whether they cover, I don't know. You're not going to find out how good Notre Dame is, unfortunately, until they play Clemson, because that's the only decent team that is in the ACC this year. It was smart of them to go to the ACC so they could try to compete for a national championship.
For sure, yeah.
But they're going to get trolloped.
Well, they're not going to beat Clemson.
Treating like horse.
There's no way.
Like Clemson.
But it'll be it's unfortunate that they don't play Miami. I know there's no transitive property in sports, but I would like to see them play in Miami to see how they match up, and then I want to see the outcomes of Clemson, North Carolina, and Notre Dame, North Carolina, just out of curiosity, I guess.
Sure.
It's not going to matter. Clemson's going to go undefeated.
I agree.
And they're going to win the ACC championship, presumably against Notre Dame, maybe Miami.
Maybe.
But Notre Dame doesn't play Miami, so I don't know how that's going to be affected. But they do play North Carolina, so we'll see how that goes. But
I could see North Carolina in there.
I mean, they're
potentially
they're fifth
putting
right
up a lot
now.
of points.
I just don't know how long that can last.
I don't either. And then look, they're getting recruits in. They're just not ready yet. So Mac Brown's doing a great job at North Carolina. Next up is Florida, number 10, who looked like trash last week. Well, they're playing trash this week. LSU.
Well, they're playing Trask and trash.
Maybe. And this is a hard maybe. So this spread right now is Florida minus 11.5. And here's why I say maybe. Breaking news on this. 5 players for Florida have tested positive for COVID.
That game's not going to play.
One would think.
No way.
So if you're an LSU fan, congratulations. Christmas just came early.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to be 1-3. They would be 1-3.
It's less like Christmas and more like a stay of execution, but sure.
LSU would be 1-3.
Yeah.
You know they're not in the top 25 anymore.
No, they shouldn't be.
They're not in the top 25. They would have been 1-3 after this week. Look, it's hard to say. I don't know what 5 kids it is yet from Florida. So I can't make a call on this point spread because I'm not sure who it is and if they'll play. But if they do it like New England, if it's 5 like shitty players or second string, do they just sit them out and the rest of the games go on? I'm not sure how this is going to work out.
Well, no, they have to screen the rest of the team and staff first to see if anybody else has it.
Right.
And then they have to give them, I think, 4 days of
Yeesh.
like if you've been exposed to
close.
it. If you're exposed to it, I
Yeah.
think you have to. I'm pretty sure this is the NCAA rules. I think you have to quarantine for 4 days, get tested like every day, and I think you have to have 2 negative tests before you can come back.
Unless you're like Trump and you just hulk up real quick, 48 hours and you're good to go.
Well, what Trump said was he had all this great medicine and blah, blah, blah. And then he came out 2 days later and said this medicine is going to be available and free to anybody else.
Yeah.
You need to follow through on that, guy.
Yeah.
Like, tell me what the medicine was exactly, and then tell me how that.
He did say what it was. It was Regeneron.
Regeneron was one of them, yeah.
Remdesivir.
Remdesivir, yeah.
There we go.
Remdesivir, yeah. So
there
it's
we go.
like, where are those drugs available for free, Mr. President? Because you said that out loud in front of the entire country. You need to fucking follow through on that, by the way.
Yeah, I think what they're going to do is test them out and wait. I know Johnson & Johnson had a setback today as far as their COVID drug trials, but we'll see. I have a feeling this game will also be set back a few weeks here. And LSU, congratulations. You probably got out of another loss. Now, if this game were to go on, Florida minus 11.5, probably take Florida.
No way.
Yes, I would. I think it's a 2-score game. I think they beat LSU by 2 scores.
I would if I had any faith in Florida whatsoever, but I don't. I think.
Do you see the over on this, by the way? 72.
Oh, man.
This is a 36-36 game.
When's the last time an SEC game had an over that high?
These are Big 12 overs, man. I mean
Jesus
these are crazy.
Christ, this is the weirdest year of all time.
Yeah.
I'm having a real hard time tracking on college football this year.
The only one that looks the part is Clemson thus far.
I'm only 60%, which is I usually do 68. You do better in college. I usually do better in the NFL.
Yeah.
But in the NFL, I'm doing fine. I'm still like 71% right now, which is kind of down for me. But
so here's what I've been doing.
College, I'm fucked.
Yeah. So here's what I've been doing in college. I've been going 1, 2, 3 games a weekend, no more than that, because like you said, it has been really difficult to pick. And having been to actual games in the stadium, we have the advantage of knowing what it's like, and it is weird. It's still empty. It is very JV-ish, and it does have a big part to play in why these spreads and scores and all the shit are so high. So, man, me personally, yes, I don't believe in LSU. And if this game goes off, I'm going to do it just to do it and then post it in Drinkin Bros Sports on Facebook. Private group, anybody can join. But just to rub it in LSU's face because they're going 1-3 this year. I can't remember a national championship team going 1-3 if they play. If not, congratulations. But next up, we got Texas A&M against Mississippi State. To me, this is the same exact team playing each other. I don't know what to think about this, but it's weird. Mike Leach is the coach of Mississippi State, right? First game, he goes ham against LSU, beats them. Kid throws for 623 yards. I think they scored 2 points last week. I think it was 28-2. I'm dead serious. Was it 2 points?
Hang on, I'm looking.
Yeah, it was 24-2.
24-2.
They played Kentucky. 2 points they scored. First week, the kid had 623 yards. They scored 44 against LSU. This week, they scored 2 points, 1 safety against Kentucky. I don't know which team is going to show up. I would not bet this game. I have no fucking idea. Texas A&M looked okay, but Florida didn't have a defense last week, and so they beat Florida.
It's a weird stat.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Did you not see that?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, but I mean, how is
24-2?
Is Kentucky that much better than LSU? I mean, that's not possible.
I don't know.
Even at their current status,
I don't know.
LSU is not that much worse than Kentucky.
I don't know.
Not that there's no transitive property, but goddamn, dude, that's a weird fucking stat.
So this is A&M -6.5. There's a lot of A&M fans that listen to the show. Look, I love you guys. I'm proud of your victory last week, but I'm not going to bet this game. I don't know which Mike Leach is going to show up or what team is going to show up for Mississippi State. It's been a really weird year in the SEC, and I'm staying away from this. Next up, we got UNC against Florida State. UNC is -13 in this one against Florida State. Florida State is past the point of return. That they're not going to be good again for a very, very long time. Once their campus went completely dry and they kicked off the Greek system, that was it for them. They've been terrible ever since.
Yeah, nobody wants to go there.
No, dude. That's Bert Kreischer's team. He used to fucking run that place.
Nobody wants to go to fucking Tallahassee if you can't get fucked up.
Have you been to Tallahassee sober? It's awful.
I haven't stayed sober. I've arrived sober, and then progressed past that point.
I had to give a speech there, and I was looking forward to it. The campus was dry and all this shit, and I was like,
no
yeesh.
way.
It was not fun. Either way, 13 points.
12.5.
So people are betting.
No, I'm saying take it down to 12.
I'll take it down to 12.5. Maybe I'm not ready to believe in North Carolina just yet. That over looks fun at 63.5.
It's at 13.5 now. People are really hammering fucking
North Carolina.
North Carolina, yeah.
I understand it. Florida State's terrible.
I'm going to take North Carolina at 12.5.
Okay.
Just to see what happens for this week, because I don't have any weird bets so far this week, except for BYU or Louisiana. Rather.
Okay.
I did bet that one.
My big one is this next game. I'm betting a lot on this next game. It is the game of the week. It is Georgia at Alabama. And I've been the SEC whisperer this year. I was last year, too. I was really good at picking SEC games. I bet on Georgia. I bet on I lost the Florida game last week. I should take that back, maybe. But I should walk that back a little bit. But I've been pretty goddamn good. Having watched both of these teams, almost all of their games at this point, Georgia's very hit and miss on this quarterback stitch.
Yeah.
Their defense is great. They fell asleep at the wheel against Tennessee in the first half, but they pulled it out the second half. Alabama they're going to win by a touchdown in this one. I'm going to. This is going to be my biggest bet of the weekend. I'm going to go Alabama at this -6 here. I think Bama, man, dropping 63 on a team. If somebody's bombs away against you, you have to go bombs away against them, man. I think Bama has the potential to go bombs away. I'm going fucking Bama on this one.
I mean, they have consistently raised their offensive profile each week.
Yep.
Against not necessarily better teams, but I think Ole Miss is probably better than people are giving them credit for, just because of the offense and the bad matchups it creates for those teams in that conference. So, I'm probably fine with that. I mean, goddamn, I don't want to do it, but
what's fake Dan? What say you on this?
Let's see what it is on here.
Alabama -6 against
Still
Georgia.
-6.
I'm all in on Bama on this one.
I want to take Georgia.
You're gonna take Georgia? Why?
Yeah, defense.
Their defense is good, but their offense. Look, man, that quarterback is real spotty on that one, man. And they let up. They gave 21 to Tennessee in the first half last week. No, I'm going Bama. I'm with you guys. Roll Tide on this one. I know we have a lot of Alabama fans out there. I'm with you on this, and so far, so good for Bama. So I'm in, and I'll probably throw $500 on this one. Next up, we got Boston College against Virginia Tech. Hey-o.
Don't care.
Yeah, does anybody care about this game?
Nope.
No, they're barely in the top 25 here. Dan and I have the same rules, man. If you're a fringe team here that's on the outskirts of like 23, 24, 25, with an 11-point spread, that's too many points to fuck around with your money like that. Like, you'd have to be a genuine fan of these teams to bet on this game, or just a fucking straight-up junkie. And there's better games if you're a junkie at 8 o'clock, like the fucking Georgia-Alabama game or the North Carolina-Florida State game. Don't bet on this one. And then postponed this week due to COVID is Oklahoma State. So they are postponed against Baylor. Both of these schools have had a couple games postponed so far, and those will be rescheduled at some point. Look, man, if there's any shot for a Big 12 team to get into the playoffs, the last man standing is Oklahoma State. They're the only ones that are undefeated at this point. We will flip-flop over to the NFL here. We gave you tonight's pick due to COVID. Weird, man. Weird picking a Tuesday night game.
Fight
this
Club.
is our second Tuesday night game. Yeah, we
Game
picked.
of the week.
Then we move on so this one does not have a spread. Are they pushing this? This is Texans against Tennessee because they're playing tonight. Tennessee's playing tonight.
Let me check. It's possible, yeah, because you don't know if there are going to be injuries or whatever the fuck.
Or is that too many short days off? Because, I mean, now you're in Tuesday and you got to play again on Sunday.
Let me see if it's
It's
in
only
here.
5 days. That's what they do to some of those Thursday night games. I guess that'd be all right. Yeah, it's not off the board, so I would imagine they're waiting for tonight to see who gets injured.
Tonight is up to -4, by the way, for the
Yeesh.
Bills Titans.
Yeesh.
You're gonna have to take that down.
I already did. I already posted it in Drinkin Bros Sports, by the way, on Facebook. So this Texans-Titans game has a chance to go off, and they're not going to put the spread up until you see what happens tonight because of injuries and things like that. It's going to be a weird year, so buckle up. Regardless, I wouldn't have bet this game anyways because
I don't know what the Texans are going to look like coming out again. I mean, it looks like
I don't either.
It looks like it took them a half of football to kind of figure it out on their own. But I feel like they're the varsity Blues team playing after John Voight left at this point.
Bud Kilmer,
like
yeah.
Romeo Coronel is not coaching that team. Let's be real, man.
Yeah.
He's like 72 years old, and he's talking through a mask. Nobody can hear what the fuck he's saying.
No, dude.
They're playing for themselves right now,
Mm-hmm.
which is a big motivator. But you can't. It won't last against a team that comes in with a really good strategy. Like if they were playing the Patriots this week, even without Cam, I would bet against the Texans because Belichick will outthink them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're not.
No.
So-
No, they're nuts.
This will be an interesting game to see. I wouldn't bet on it.
I wouldn't either. And even if it goes off, man, I would not put any money on this. Not even on a teaser, to be honest with you, because I don't know what's going to happen. Next up, we got the Bengals against the Colts. Ooh, this is Indiana -7.5. Indianapolis -7.5 on this one. Look, Bengals didn't score a fucking point last week.
Joe Burrow
against
spent
the
more
Ravens.
time on his ass
He
than
did.
he did upright.
And A.J. Green appears to be injured again with some form of hamstring injury. If you're Burrow, you're just hanging on for dear life at this point.
this is what I feared for him.
I know. And that's what
By
everybody
the
feared
way,
for him.
he's been sacked 22 times in 5 games. That's
Oh,
4+
my God.
sacks per game.
He's on pace for 100 sacks this year. So,
I mean-
yeesh. Look, I think this is a 6.5 game.
He's on pace for 70 sacks.
You
this
can
year.
buy a point, and you're probably fine with this. Phillip Rivers does not look that great this year.
No, I mean, look, it's.
I'm surprised at this team.
It takes a little time to get together. This is training camp still. This is the first week of real football, in my opinion. I think he turns it around against a shitty defense.
Jonathan
like the
Taylor's
Bengals.
looked great.
Yeah.
I picked up T.Y. Hilton off the waiver wire in the league last week. I was surprised. I was like, what the fuck? It was in that Cutthroat Killers league, actually. Look, if you want to take this down at 6.5 and bet it, fine. And I'll probably put this on a 6-point teaser as well for the Colts. But I wouldn't go extremely hard on this one.
No.
Now, the Falcons are up next, and they're playing the Vikings. It's Minnesota -3.5. And the Falcons have a new coach, an interim coach. I don't know his name. I've never heard of him. And therefore, I'm not betting on the Falcons. Definitely not going to bet on that. Look, the Falcons are 0-5. If I am Arthur Blank, I bench the whole team and try to tank for Trevor. That's what I would do here in this one. The Vikings, man, they're 1-4, but they've been in all these games. Like, they almost beat the Seahawks on Sunday nights. They probably win this game. That's why the spread is at -3.5, because it's a virtually a pick 'em here. You have an 0-5 team against
2 of their
4
losses are by 1 point.
Right.
You know what I
So
mean?
they're there. Dalvin Cook has looked good. It depends on what the Falcons want to do, if they want to play or not. I have no idea.
Well, this week should be a pretty good indicator based on how they play. If they come out running the ball mostly, then you can be sure that they're not confident in Matt Ryan and that they're also not planning on winning the game.
And Julio Jones is hurt. If I'm the Falcons, man, why risk it? Just leave Julio out. Leave that entire team out. Maybe trade Matt Ryan to the Cowboys and see what you can do.
I
don't know.
I don't know about trading him to the Cowboys, but they got to get rid of him.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Next up is the Broncos against the Patriots. No spread on this one. I have zero point spread on this one here. Was this a COVID game as well?
It could be because of Cam, whether or not he's going to be back.
That's it. That is it. Yeah, I don't know whether he's going to be back or not. Strange times we're living in. Jesus, man. If he is back, the spread is probably 8.5 to 9, I would imagine. If he's not back,
it might be 2.5.
Yeah, I was going to say 3. Who knows?
Maybe 2.5, just to get people to bet.
Yeah, pay attention to this one. But look, the Patriots, it was very unfortunate. You lose your starting quarterback, and they lost the Chiefs. If Cam plays, though, they definitely win this game. But wait and see. We don't really know.
Yeah.
Next up, the Washington football team against the New York Giants. This is another awful game. This is a 1-4 team against an 0-5 team.
This might be the worst game
maybe ever. Is Alex Smith going to start?
That's a good question. He's favored to win the Comeback Player of the Year award, even though he hasn't taken a snap yet.
He got into the game last week.
That's right. Well, Kyle Allen is
starting.
No, he's questionable for next week.
Oh, well then fuck.
And Haskins is listed as out. I don't know if that's an injury.
No. So here's the deal with Dwayne Haskins. They are trying to.
But come on,
he is sick. But they are trying to trade him right now. So they are actively trading him. There is 4 teams that are looking at game footage of him right now and deciding whether or not they're going to trade for Dwayne Haskins. I'm not sure. Look, there was something between the GM and the coaches up there in Washington. They never wanted him in the first place, and they never gave him a shot anyway. So I hope he gets traded somewhere we can see what he can do. Because to me, I don't know what he can do on this shitty Washington team. I don't necessarily think that's his fault.
No, what they're probably going to do is try to draft over the next 3 to 5 years. They're probably going to try to draft some linebackers and maybe an edge rusher and some good running backs and or tight ends, and leave Alex Smith in there as a game manager probably. If he's going to come back, he looks healthy right now.
Yeah.
If he's going to come back and play, he's 36. He'll carry him through for a couple years while they can get a new fucking quarterback in there and blah, blah, blah. But they don't feel like Haskins is the guy there for whatever reason.
No, and they're trying to trade him now. So watch out for that. That being said, why would you bet this game? Like, that's the dumbest thing of all time.
There's nothing consistent from either team. So, yeah, there's no way.
No.
And the Giants are missing their biggest offensive weapon.
Next up, we got the Ravens against the Eagles. This is Ravens -7.5.
Fuck yeah, I'm taking that.
Yeah, same here.
I'm not even buying points because Lamar Jackson is so fucking pissed off right now that he got embarrassed at the national stage by Pat Mahomes. He's fucking so angry. He is going to light the Eagles on fire.
They certainly lit it up last week against the Bengals.
And their defense is going to fucking – this might be the last game Carson Wentz plays this year. I'm not even kidding. Yeah. Like they may knock him out of this game because they are fucking after him big time.
Yeah, I'm going to bet this game too. To be safe, I'll take it down a point to 6.5, but I'm going hard on this Ravens game for sure.
No safety for me.
I am. Just in case. Next up is the Browns against the Steelers. It's actually turned into a fun game. I did not think anything of the Browns. I still do not like Baker Mayfield as their quarterback, but they're 4-1. and the Steelers are 4-0. This is going to be a pretty good game, I would imagine. The Steelers have a great defense, though.
Sure do.
So this is Pittsburgh minus 3.5, which is telling you, that's Vegas telling you right now, hey, man, that's pretty much a pick 'em game. We'll see. It's going to be a field goal, close game. I don't think it's going to be that close.
Pittsburgh has, at least with regard to yards allowed right now, total yards allowed, they dominate rushing. They're giving up 60 yards rushing a game against a team that kind of relies on Kareem Hunt right now. Right?
Look, Odell Beckham Jr. looked great last week, and
did.
Jarvis Landry.
He did. He did, but
I don't know.
not against this kind of defense. And, I mean,
Who did they play last week?
who, Pittsburgh?
The Browns.
The Browns? Hang
Yeah.
on, let me look.
The Colts.
It was the Colts.
Yeah.
That's right.
The Colts are like a middle-of-the-road defense right now.
They had a pretty good defense.
And they played the Bengals, Washington, and Cowboys. And when they played the Ravens, they only scored 6 points. I think Pittsburgh is going to fucking dominate the Browns. I think this minus 3.5 is an insult to Pittsburgh, frankly.
I'm going to take Pittsburgh as well in this matchup, and I still don't believe in the Browns. Congrats that you're 4-1. That snuck up on you, though.
Yeah.
For sure. The Browns are inedible this year. It kind of sneaks up on you where you're like, wait a minute, am I this fucked up? I get the Steelers in this one all day. Next up, we got Bears, who are 4-1. Again, that is crazy to me. Against the Panthers, and the Panthers are only minus 2.5 in this one. You should be in a 51-50 if you bet this game. This is so dumb that I would have to have you committed if you bet this game. If you hit me up and say, Ross, I took one game this week and I put all my money on it, and it's the Bears versus the Panthers.
Yeah.
I would call your parents, your wife, or your mistress, or your gay lover and say, you need to be committed to a psych ward, and you don't probably deserve to be walking the streets anymore.
Well, look, I mean, there are some
There's shitty games this weekend.
If everybody was healthy in this game, and I'm including whatever middle-of-the-road quarterback Carolina throws out there, if McCaffrey was in, I would absolutely take the Panthers in this game because the Bears are middle of the road when it comes to run defense. They're like 17th or 18th in the league in run defense.
Mike Davis, I picked him up off the waiver wire. He's playing for McCaffrey now, and he was a man on fire last week. So, it wouldn't surprise me if Carolina wins. It also wouldn't surprise me if the Bears win. The real winner in this
It's hard
is the
to
people
pass
who
against the
don't
Bears.
bet on this game.
Yeah, do not bet on this game.
Don't
But
bet on this
I mean, if the conditions were different, I would probably bet for the Panthers. But no, and you never know Nick Foles. You never know what the fuck he's gonna do.
No,
like he might come out and throw fucking 500 yards tomorrow or Sunday.
He might.
You
And
never
3
know.
touchdowns, you never know. They're asking in the comments section here, Craigers, is if he comes out a couple weeks early for the election show. It depends on when the election show is in. Let's see. The election show is in 20 days.
Yep.
21 days. And then the World Series will be in what, 7? So he'd have to come out 2 weeks earlier.
It'll be
for the Braves.
It'll start Tuesday next week, I think, and then it'll end
The following weekend. So what is that?
It'll end the following Thursday, I think.
All right, so that would be the 29th. Yeah, you'll be in the realm of it. You'll absolutely be in the realm of the election show.
Well, no, it'll be over the 28th. Game 7 will be the 28th, so that'll be Wednesday of the following week.
I'd tell you what, Craig, if this goes 7 games and the Braves are in the World Series, Dan and I will buy you a World Series ticket, and you can go with us to that game. It is in Arlington, Texas. I will make you that deal live on air. How about that? You're one of our OG homies here in the group, and yes, if the Braves go to Game 7, you can sit with Dan and I and come out to the World Series in Arlington. That was suggested by Big Dick Dinoff, so we're in. We're in on that. Absolutely, I'm down. Man, if it's the Braves and the Rays, would that go 7 games though? I have Braves in 6.
The Rays have exceptional pitching, even though Glasnow doesn't do well in the playoffs necessarily. And the Braves fucking, man, their offense is
That the lineup is disgusting.
It's so difficult to play that team because it's like one of those late 2000s or even mid 2000s Yankees teams where 1 through 9 you can get butt fucked by somebody.
Yeah. And it happened last night in the ninth inning, dude. I mean,
Austin
Braves
Riley hit a fucking 450-foot home run laser off the fucking the mezzanine.
and he
level.
hits ninth for us.
Yeah, well, he's hitting 7th tonight, but we don't even. I mean, this guy that's pitching tonight, Tony Gonsolin, he's a rookie. I never heard of him
who
before.
the fuck that is.
I don't know if any of the Braves have ever faced him before, so you can bet the first 3 innings might be rough for the Braves, but after that.
I don't know if his dad has faced him. Yeah, they'll rough him up. So I'm amped about tonight's game. Kershaw is out in that game.
The money line is Dodgers minus 131 tonight.
Is it really? Yeah. I'll take the Braves money line all fucking day then. As soon as this show is over. Shit. What time's the game on? 5 p.m. Our time?
Yep.
Oh, fuck. So, yeah, when we finish up in a half hour, I want to fucking throw money on that easily. Easily. Thanks, Craigers and Big Dick Tanoff. You might have just made me some money tonight. If you're listening to the show tomorrow and the Braves lost, then you know that probably hung myself from a tall building.
Yeah, we're going to send you a bill.
Yeah. You're going to be paying for the funeral, big dog. Get used to it. I want to be embalmed. I want to live in your house, too. Next up, we got the Lions against the Jaguars. Oh, boy. These games this week. My God, man. Fake Dan. You ever been raped? No?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay. Well, you're. This is probably what it feels like this week in the NFL because these games are terrible this week. Awful matchups. This is Detroit minus 3.5. Look, I'm fine if you want to take it for the Lions. I think the Lions probably win. I don't know what the fuck is going on with the Jaguars. I also don't know what's going on with the Lions. These are 2 1-3 teams. Jaguars are 1-4.
Right now, the Jaguars look like somebody who don't like their job showing up on Monday morning.
Yeah,
that's what they look like to me. It's just like, I mean, shit, we got to do this, I guess. Why not? That's what it looks like to me. They just don't care. And
boy.
The sad thing is, it's probably not worse than the next game.
No, and by the way, you can go on Drinkin Bros tickets, drinkinbrostickets.com for this Jaguars game, and I think you can get tickets for like $20 to see an NFL football game, which is amazing. It is not. Oh God, you're not lying, dude. It just keeps getting worse. The Jets against the Dolphins.
I mean, Washington.
My God, man.
Washington Giants and
Lions,
Jaguars, and Jets, Dolphins.
Dolphins, Bears, Panthers. Eesh, Bears and Panthers. Oh my. Oh, this is terrible, man. What a fucking horrific week in the NFL. Look, I don't know who the Jets quarterback is. It's not Durr. He's not there, right? He got hurt. It's somebody else.
Let's see who this guy is.
He's 0-5. They're currently trying to trade Le'Veon Bell as of today.
Is it Joe Flacco?
It is Joe Flacco.
Flacco.
You're right.
Yeah.
Flacco played last week.
That's right. And Frank Gore is the running back that'll step in if Le'Veon Bell gets traded. So apparently it's 2002 again.
Frank Gore's played, by the way. He's started half the games at running back for the Jets this year. This is Miami minus 8. If you have a death wish out there for yourself or any of your loved ones, have them bet this game because I'm certainly not going to. The Dolphins, man, will fuck up something. The weird thing is the Dolphins will probably win and they'll be 3-3, and then
it's Fitzmagic,
the Dolphins fans will be like, "We're back, baby."
No, they won't. They're not that delusional yet. I don't think.
One would hope not, but that's a terrible game. Like, I didn't even want to watch that game. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to hear it. I don't even want to know it existed in my life. It's going to be really hard to pick a teaser on this weekend because all of these are awful games.
Yeah.
Next up, you got the Packers against the Buccaneers. This is a good game. I'm in on this one. Packers are 4-0. Bucs are 3-2. So it is Aaron Rodgers against Joe Biden in this one, and it's Green Bay minus 1.5. Is that because of Devontae Adams could possibly be out?
I mean, he's been out for a while now.
Yeah. But, I mean, look, he's always a game time decision on these fucking things.
Mike Evans has been a game time decision every week, too.
But he's played.
He has played, yeah. Devontae Adams is questionable now. He was upgraded from out completely.
Yep.
Frankly, I probably wouldn't stress too much to bring him back for this game because it's not a hugely relevant game, in my opinion. Like, I think the Packers win this regardless of him playing.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see a heavy dose of Aaron Jones in this one, but it'll be fun to see Rodgers against Brady. And look, man, if Now is the time to kick Brady while he's down.
Yeah.
If you're Aaron Rodgers, do it right now and just fucking put your boot in his neck. I'll probably take Green Bay on this one for sure. I'll take Green Bay on this one at 1.5. Fuck it. That's pretty much a pick'em game.
The Buccaneers' defense has actually played pretty well this year.
Yeah, Brady has not played well.
No, that defense has played pretty well against the pass. They're not as good as they are. They're middle of the pack against the pass, better against the run. We'll see. They really haven't played, I don't think, a team that has a great run game. I think didn't McCaffrey get hurt in that second game, like in the first quarter against them? So they didn't see all of him. Then they went against the Broncos, Chargers, and Bears, who, again, the Bears fucking running back is out. I think they haven't seen a real run game yet. It'll be interesting to see. I think that the Packers are completely in control of this game, and I'm going to bet this one at the current level.
At 1.5? Yeah, I'm betting this game as well. I'm going to take this, and I'm also going to take this next game, the Sunday night game.
It's actually 2.5 on my bookie now, but I'm still taking it at 2.5.
It went up a full point?
Yep.
Damn, everybody's betting Green Bay. I get it, man.
I'm still taking Green Bay.
Buccaneers
at 2.5,
look like shit on Thursday.
Yeah.
The Sunday night game of the week is the Rams, who are 4-1 against the 49ers.
Which is weird because it kind of seems like you would want Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady as your Sunday night game. Again, the scheduling this year is beyond my understanding.
One would think.
This bullshit, nobody cares about Jared Goff, and Garoppolo is not even playing anymore.
So here's the deal. Midway through the season, you were allowed to switch out the Sunday night games for the most exciting teams. We're not to that point yet, so the advertisers can't do this. Otherwise, they would have swapped this game out.
But why doesn't the NFL step up and put the best product in the best market?
Well, here's the thing with this. So Rams 49ers would have been a great game this year if you're going by last year's standards, right? We're not. And I don't know who's playing. I don't know if Garoppolo is back. I don't know.
I think he might be on the bench. I don't think he's hurt. I think he's on the bench at this point.
So, all right. So let me pose this one. This is the Rams minus 3.5. I'm going to take this down a point just to be safe, and I'm taking the Rams for sure. So let me get that out of the way. Now, let me ask you this, because this one's super interesting. Looking at their record now at 2-3, they're not out of this season yet, and they still have a bunch of great players on the 49ers, right? Kyle Shanahan is your head coach. He had the most success with Matt Ryan as quarterback. Is that a move that you potentially make, or can you make that? Does the salary cap even allow you to do something like that?
I don't know, but I wouldn't mind seeing. They would need more parts. Obviously, I don't think that Deebo Samuel and George Kittle are enough for a guy like Matt Ryan. He needs more weapons to be successul. But
I agree. Mostert is back.
He'll be back. Yeah,
they got housed last week.
Yeah, they got beat badly. I think the 49ers do keep Garoppolo upright, probably more than he deserves to be.
Yes.
Let's be real about that.
Yeah.
So that would be a good situation for him. If they could bring in somebody like Matt Ryan plus a receiver, maybe Julio, maybe trade for both of them and give up whatever you got to give up to get it. Because, look, if you're the 49ers, you bring in those two pieces, you don't really need to add that much more to your lineup here.
Right.
Having a guy that can actually score points for you and a guy that can catch the deep ball plus George Kittle on your team, that is a game-changing situation for you. And with that defense, then you become, in my opinion, a legit – I didn't think even the year they went to the Super Bowl that they were a legit contender.
Right.
I think they fucking had some good fortune. They played great defense, but in spite of their offense, they won. And usually it's a great defense and a good game manager. Garoppolo threw 8 passes one game and still won. That's not something that you can always count on. They bring in I think that's a better fit for even a trade than Dallas is, frankly. Yeah.
Look, in this game, though, I'm going to take the Rams. I'm not sure what happens to the 49ers if they.
The Rams look good last week.
Look, their defense is great.
Goff.
And Jared Goff is. Look, he is an Alex Smith. He's a good game manager. He's not the sexiest guy in the world.
He wasn't.
But Daryl Henderson Jr. Look, man, I drafted that guy, and he's played very, very well. So I'm all in on the Rams on this one, and I'm curious if this other game was supposed to be the Sunday night game, and they flip-flopped it now that I look at it. Because this is the game of the week. But it's flipped to Monday because of COVID. It is the Chiefs against the Bills. That's the game of the week right there.
That was supposed to be Thursday.
Got it. So they bumped that one.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Did they put anybody in the Thursday slot? So no, they did not.
No
so there is no Thursday game this week. Okay.
That might be, they may have, to be honest, they may have manufactured something to keep that game from even happening so they can just move into the CBS situation.
Well, they're on it now. They're on the CBS situation now. Yes, so that only lasts like 3 or 4 games. So they're on it. You can watch it on.
I thought it was week 7 when that started.
It's earlier now. Amazon made a deal as well, so they're showing the games on Amazon. If you're the NFL, I just don't understand why you're not keeping your own product and having all these games on the NFL app and then charging everybody a buttfuck ton of money to do this. Whatever. I don't work for the NFL app. Chiefs Bills. I don't know what the spread. There's no spread yet because the Bills haven't played yet. They're playing tonight, and they're waiting to see if anybody gets injured from that game. But man, due to COVID, I almost feel like we should do an extra show or something to do these fucking games because this is crazy to me. I would say Chiefs all day. I guess my first thought would be what the spread would be in this, and I would say 6.5. Probably.
Yeah,
Chiefs,
that's probably
Chiefs
right.
would be favored 6.5 because it's at Buffalo.
Yeah.
That's my guess. And if that's the case, I'm taking it because the Chiefs got beat badly last week. And they're going to want to show out because this is a good team. They'll play up to the level of their competition. If this is under a touchdown, bet this fucking game. The Chiefs will win this game because the Bills are good and they want to put a beat down on a good team. But man, I wish I knew the spread. We don't. We won't know. And then the last game. So we're going to have 2 games on Monday night. A Monday night doubleheader here.
Yep.
Arizona against the Cowboys. And, we have sweet tickets for this day, and we're not even going to go to this goddamn game. I don't know what the Cowboys. It's Andy Dalton here. It is Arizona minus 2.5. Look, junkie shit. Monday night because of teasers. Now there's going to be 4 teams playing instead of 2. Yeah, I bet the Cardinals on this one. I do it just to do it. That over-under is 54.5 in this game, too.
That's definitely not going to be the case.
Arizona chucking the ball around?
Yeah, and even without – it doesn't matter who the fuck is at quarterback. Arizona is not playing great defense. Like, come on, man.
No.
You don't think Zeke's going to fucking show out in that game?
Sure he will. Look, that over-under is 54.5.
That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculously low under.
So – I don't know. Look, it's junky shit on this game. Do what you want, but Chiefs Bills. Depending upon, let me rephrase that. I'll wait for this Chiefs Bills spread before I get into this ugly ass game because that's a terrible game.
It is, but just looking at it right now, without any additional information, I probably take the over at 54.5.
Okay. Fake Dan, you got any locks this week that you like?
Yeah, but I'm also seeing Chiefs Bills is -3. Chiefs -3.
No, not one prayer. If that was it, I would put my entire house on that game.
It's not on my bookie yet, but that's the line I'm seeing.
If that is what the spread is when this game starts, I will put the entire house in the studio, my cars, everything on the Chiefs at -3. Holy fucking shit. That would be a gift from God.
That is a little ridiculous, yeah.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Who do you like this week in college and NFL? Anybody?
In college, I actually like Coastal.
Coastal Carolina?
Yeah. So tomorrow, money lines +235.
Back your shit. Back your shit.
Against Louisiana, right?
Yeah. So you think Coastal Carolina is going to win?
I think Coastal's the top 25 team. I'm not kidding. They're good.
I tell you what, that's either the hottest take of the year or the worst take of all time.
Like without the Big Ten and the Pac-12 playing right now,
yeah,
Coastal's the top 25 team.
So without all the good teams, they're a good team.
Well, there are no good teams in the Pac-12. Let's be real about that.
No, and you're fine with that. But the fact that was your lock of the week is amazing. So you're taking the money line in Coastal Carolina
+235.
That's a lot. So what that means is if you put I get it. If you put 100 down, you're winning 235. So it's essentially 2.5 times the odds. That is a bold move on Coastal Carolina against Louisiana. That was the last game I was expecting to hear out of your mouth. I like it, and it's hilarious, but that's fake Dan for you. What about the NFL?
NFL, I don't know, but golf, we got second straight week in Vegas.
Yeah.
Shadow Creek. It's where Phil and Tiger played their match.
Yeah,
2 years ago.
It is.
So with golf, I like getting somebody with like +100 odds.
Okay.
Like 100 to 1. So it's like having a lottery ticket early on.
Yeah.
So I'm on Cam Champ.
Oh, is he in this?
Yeah, he's like +125 or 125 to 1.
Okay.
So it means if you bet $100.
Yeah, you win $12,500 or something. Yeah, that's the craziest odds of all time. Say that for the audience one more time. What's his name?
Cam Champ.
Cam Champ in that game in golf. What is the name of that tournament?
This week it's the CJ Cup.
You bet.
So this is where
You bet.
they usually have the Asia swing. But obviously they can't go to Asia right now, so they brought it over to Vegas.
You're like one of 12 people on earth that bets on golf, and you just took Coastal Carolina as a lock.
Oh,
So-
this is why we save this for the end of the show, and this is what makes me laugh like endlessly on this. Coastal Carolina money line, and then Cam Champ in golf in a no-name tournament in Vegas that is big in Asia.
The
for
CJ Cup, it's usually in Asia.
Yeah,
But, there's actually some big names in this, except
Who's the biggest name in this?
Dustin Johnson just got COVID, so he's out.
Oh, did he get COVID?
He just got COVID.
Surprised he hasn't had it earlier.
But Xander, you got JT, you got all the big names.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
Is
a good tournament.
is DeChambeau playing it?
No, he's actually taken an entire month off before the Masters. He wants to get
Smart.
up to 245 pounds.
I feel like he's
I love that
DeChambeau
guy.
he's basically like fucking Stooley president at this point.
Yeah.
Like he's the golf version of
He's Dave Portnoy.
of El Presidente over there at Barstool. I think that's what he's doing. He's just like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. I'm gonna get juiced up, and then I'm gonna come out here and hit the ball 7,000 yards. You can suck my dick.
That is the funniest
It's
shit
pretty
I
funny.
have heard all fucking week, dude. We go to you. And by the way, this is not scripted. We had no idea what you were going to say. You took the Coastal Carolina money line, and you took Cam Champ in an Asian golf tournament.
That's in
And,
Vegas.
It's in Vegas, but it's the precursor to all of the big matchups in Asia. Is that what you said?
No, the Asian swing is where the PGA Tour usually just kind of bounces around Asia. But obviously right now with COVID,
Sure. They're stuck here in America.
they brought
yeah.
everything over. So CJ
Yeah.
Cup, you got the Zozo, which is what Tiger Woods won last year.
You bet.
Yeah.
You bet. Big fan of that. Big fan of that.
So that's in LA.
Oh, you made my week with that. It's only Tuesday. Look, shit can't get any weirder.
I hope he's right.
So do I. It'd be the greatest thing of all time. If you come through on that, so 100 would pay you off at $12,500. That's what that means. So if you put $100 on Cam Champ and he wins at golf this weekend, on mybookie.com you will win $12,500. The sick part of me almost wants to do it because what if he did come through? Have you ever won one of those things?
Yeah, all the time.
Why does he need this job again?
No, we won that Clemson bet 18-1.
We did. Oh, no, it was
2018-19. It
was-
was 18-1.
Was it 18? I thought it was 8-1.
No, it was 18-1. At
whatever
the
it
beginning
was.
of the season
Yeah.
for them to win the championship because they had lost the year before.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
You hit 2 a year, you're good.
Of course.
But I mean, the idea is you want to get somebody with long odds before Thursday.
Yep.
He plays
Yeah.
well. His odds obviously move up.
Yeah.
And then you grab somebody Saturday who's like kind of a little further back, but he's like a horse, like someone like JT or Xander. If they drop back, they're like 4 or 5 back. You get them
Sure.
with better odds.
Okay.
So you kind of hedge.
Oh boy, that's great. I'm gonna do it. I'll do it. I'll throw a little money on that just to join in on the. I want to be in on the joke. I want to be in on this joke.
So what are we betting exactly?
For sure.
I'm going to do this too.
$100 on Cam Champ to win whatever golf tournament this is, and whoever this player is. Because
Let
I've
me
never
see
heard
it
of
on
him.
my bookie if I can find if I can even find the fucking bet.
He
Jesus.
hits the shit out of the ball.
Coastal Carolina. What is it that you love about Coastal Carolina?
It's the CJ Cup, is that what it
yeah,
is?
the
CJ
CJ
Cup,
Cup.
yeah.
That's it.
Coastal can score. Coastal's good.
Okay.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
move the ball.
Okay.
All right.
It's plus 12.5 on my bookie too. So.
Yeah. So that's we only do my bookie here, so that's it. So you get $12,500 if you bet on that. I'm gonna do Cam Champ, and I'll do just for shits and gigs. I'll pick someone else who's fucking weird on that thing, and we'll see what happens this weekend. And then I will not follow you with Coastal Carolina. I am sorry, I will not do that. Like for the hilarity of the golf thing, I'll do it, and the odds are great, and it would be a fun story for the show. But I will not go down the Coastal Carolina money line rabbit hole with you. That's a crazy one. It's a Wednesday night game, though. It's going to force everybody to watch it now. You know that, right?
Well, yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh, that is hilarious, man. Man, it's a weird time we're living in, kids. But we're here with you through all of it. Go to mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros will double your deposits. And there's a couple games I'm going hard on. There's a lot of weird games this weekend, though. Good luck navigating it. But that Saturday night game is going to be a blast. I'm going hard on that. And then I'm going to bet the Braves as soon as this show is over. We will try to get the audio up ASAP. So that way this is out into the open, into the world. And you can bet that Bills-Titans game. So I'll wrap it up here. For D'Anthony Holloway.
By the way, all the fucking reviews and likes on
iTunes,
iTunes you've been doing have pushed us up about 30 positions over the last week.
Yeah, so what happened was we found out that it's not the iTunes charts isn't based on actual listeners. It is based on the amount of reviews.
It's a combination of listeners' reviews and comments. And
so the more new reviews and
yeah.
ratings you get, it bumps you up the charts. And look, we've been on it for 5 years at this point, but celebrities and all that other bullshit will start a podcast and they'll get a bunch of reviews.
I mean, for a while,
they go ahead of us.
We were consistently top 20.
Yes.
For a while.
For years.
And
then you get bumped out because people love the show and then they don't review it. So go and rate and review the show and then move us up the charts and then we can take Coastal Carolina plus the money line.
Yep.
At the money line and figure out what happens.
I'm not doing that one.
No, not at all.
That's
But I'll do that golf thing and we'll figure it out together. For D'Anthony Holloway, I am Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin Bros Sports Companion Show. Good afternoon, good nights, and good morning, everyone. Hopefully.